the one and only. Yes, sir, baby. How many days out are we from the start of the NFL season here? What is that? Where are we in like the landscape of days to the NFL start of the season? Where are we? 76 days until training camp. 115 days until September 4th, when the Dallas Cowboys roll into Lincoln Financial Field with the high-powered Dak Prescott. Yes, sir, baby. It's not a playoff game. So you can't use that distinction in that game on Thursday night, September 4th. He chokes in the playoffs. Well, he don't choke during the regular season against the Eagles. That's by far the opposite. How you doing? What a way to kick the... What are we, 76 days to training camp? 76 days. Full show today. Gary Cobb, 4:30. Angelo Cataldi will be with us at 5:30. Yes, sir, baby. You can say whatever you want about Dak. In the postseason, regular season, he's got ownership papers of the Philadelphia Eagles. And get this, we have actual facts. That's all we speak here. Facts. Here with Big Sills. Hit that like button, baby. Look at that number, too. Look at my guy, Texas boy here. Where is that number? Dak is 33-8 versus the NFC East. That's how you start a season out. So NFL decided we play the Brokeback Mountain Boys. First game, there goes Kyle right out of the gate. Off the top rope like he's Superfly Snuka. Yes, sir, baby. I hope everyone also had a great Mother's Day this past Sunday here, too. So, yes, sir, man. 115 until the start of the National Football League season and 76 days until the start of training camp. Yes, sir, man. And the Philadelphia Eagles kick off against the Dallas Cowboys. This is freaking great. Hold on for a second. I got to make sure I do this right. Let's do something there. Here it is. There it is. We got to make sure we get everything in order up there. That's all I'm just saying. We got to get everything in order up there. Hold on here. We got to get everything in order here. Yes, sir. There it is. Hey, Texas boy. You see it? I'm not going to point it out because I get killed on it when I do point it out. Just glistening back there. Okay? All right. So, Dak Prescott versus Jalen Hurts, the Mr. Time Man of the Year in the opener. Who has the advantage at quarterback? Who do you think has the advantage at quarterback in the opener? September 4th. To start the NFL season. Who has the advantage? Week 1, gonna make Mark Holmes cry, guaranteed 1-0 for the Eagles. Okay? Who has the advantage? Let's take a look at that. And let's go by the record. Not by opinion. Let's go by the record. Not by opinion. This is not opinion. This is the record. By the way, we're not talking playoffs. This is the opener to start the National Football League season. Okay. Here we are by the numbers. Dak easily. Dak Prescott 9-4 in his entire career versus the Philadelphia Eagles. 3-2 over the last 5. By the way, supers go to the top. Please hit that like button. Dallas has the advantage because we don't know what or who will be with the new coach and such. Okay? And your secondary. Half your secondary's gone. 66.8 completion percentage in 13 games versus the Eagles. 23 of 34 for 261 yards. He's throwing for 3,402. 24 touchdowns versus only 8 picks. And 100 quarterback rating. Let's take a look at Hurts now. Jalen, 4-3 versus the Cowboys. He's 16 of 25 for 205, 9 touchdowns, 5 picks, the 94 quarterback rating, 63-8 in his career. I'll ask you again. Dak Prescott has had better football games than Jalen Hurts has had in head-to-head competition. Has he not? Record said 2 Super Bowl appearances to only playoff appearances. Facts, how you doing? That's got nothing to do with the opener September 4th. Here's another fact. Prescott has a losing record against Fangio. Sills, this is the one team I believe is no match for fellow or a farmer Jalen Hurts. Those fruitcakes in Dallas are mega cheeks. Sorry, no can do, sir. All right. Hey, wait. Dak Prescott has outplayed Hurts in his time with the Eagles or going against the Eagles. Yes or no? The quarterback. What's the negative on the quarterback playing against the Eagles? Give me one. He doesn't lose. He wins. He wins. What's the negative? Nobody's talking this. I'm talking September 4th. The playoffs are not determined on the 4th. What in the... He's outplayed them, correct? In the regular season. So the advantage goes to the Cowboys, right? How does it not? Name me one thing that he'll do better than Dak Prescott on September 4th. He won't win. Dak wins. Where are their brooms at? Hey. What is this? Jalen Hurts could have 75 yards passing. I don't care as long as Barkley has 2. That's not my question. I'm not saying you're not a better team. You're missing my question. Hey, King of Philly, stay with me here, kid. Once again, who has the advantage at quarterback? Cowboys, 9-4 versus the Eagles. It's a regular season opener. In Philly, this is not a playoff game. Who has the advantage? The quarterback, Dak Prescott, has done everything that he's ever wanted to do. Like you said, he's got a great record versus NFC. He's got a great record versus the Eagles. How could Jalen Hurts have the advantage over him when he hasn't outperformed him? Bro, is Sills really calling the cowgirl? No. Once again, you're hearing what you want to hear. Where has Jalen outplayed Dak Prescott when it comes to Cowboys and Eagles? Where? Dak is dumb. I can't wait till he throws 2 picks to DeJean. Oh, I can't wait till he goes after Andrew Makuba and Keely Ringo. Holy shit, Dak's going to eat those guys for breakfast. Keely Ringo and Andrew Makuba. Okay. I can't wait for that matchup. We'll throw for 390 yards. Nobody's talking about Super Bowl jackpots. September 4th, the opener. Try to stay with me. Hey, the Cowboys' problems are not the Eagles. They beat them all the time. When Dak's in that uniform, they beat them all the time. Who's going to stop? I'm not talking. Holy cow. I'm not saying the Cowboys are beating them. Sills, you aren't fooling us. We know you're setting this up for you to pick Dallas in the no, I'm not. Dak is going to eat up that secondary big time. Throw for 400 yards in that game. Sills, I'm going to laugh my tail off watching Jalen Carter destroy Tyler Booker. Who's protecting Dak? Hey, you're right. Your team should kill that Cowboy team. The Eagles should just trounce the Cowboys. Not that you have when Dak's in there. Reality. You see, I learned a long time ago. All I do is just spit facts. Just spit the facts out. So let's take a look at Dak. Shall we? Let me just even, randomly. Dak versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's Prescott. See over here. I got to keep an eye on this. Here's Dak Prescott versus the Eagles. By the way, get this. M. Reyes. How's it spin facts? What the fuck is spin facts? Sorry, I've not heard that one before. He's just spinning facts. Okay? Wait a minute. Sileo's just spinning facts. Okay. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I think so. I'm confused for a second. Sileo spinning facts. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Maybe so. So let's spin those facts, as M. Reyes can only say. So here we go. Look at Dak. First time he played against him. 19 of 39. The Cowboy win. 287. Wow. What a performance. What a performance. 2 TDs, INT. Second one, loss. Got hurt. Third one, loss. 18 of 31, 145, 3 picks on the this was during the Super Bowl run of 2017. Fights back as only Dak can. Next year, 18, win. As a matter of fact, the Cowboys swept the Philadelphia Eagles in 18. Swept. 270 yards. 26 of 36. 3 TDs. The second game. Owned them. Ownership. Let's see here. Oh, my God. He was 42 of 54 for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns. You mean to tell me Dak Prescott has thrown for 455 yards versus the Eagles' vaunted team? No. After the Super Bowl in 18? Can't be. 19. Dak, 21 of 27, touchdown, 239. How you doing? In a win. 19. 25 of 44, 265. They go down to the Eagles. Back to winning. 21. They beat the Cowboys. 21 of 26, 268 yards, and 3 touchdowns. How you doing? Look at this. Again, folks, this has nothing to do with the playoffs. I'm talking about September 4th. Stay with me. 2023. 29 of 44, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a loss to Philly. And then in 2023, 291 yards and 2 touchdowns, 24-39. Let's see what he is in the last 5 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 games. So Dak is 4-2 in the last 6 times he's faced the Philadelphia Eagles. 0.106 EPA, meaning over the course of Jalen and Dak's career, Jalen had been a more efficient passer than Dak when calculating expected points add per drive. Look at this. Sig is going into some sort of like fucking calculus equation here that I would have to get somebody from MIT to figure out Jalen Hurts stat. Hey, you have to be a guy who goes to MIT to figure this out. Listen to this. I'm there at MIT. If you take 0.106 EPA DP, and meaning this over the course of Jalen Hurts' career versus Dak Prescott's career, Jalen has been more of an efficient and effective passer based on the status quo of Q versus 9 versus square. And if you calculate over the points you add up, Jalen's a better player. And if you put it in the MIT calculus, this is how we come out that Jalen Hurts is better than Dak Prescott. Only MIT and MIT graduates know the secret formula on how Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Look at this thing. I mean, hey, dude, I appreciate the $10. You don't know how we do here, but I got to tell you, I'm going to say this for the first time in my life. That's way over my head. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. The 0.106 EPA DP. Are you making that up? Listen, for a dummy, okay, I admit it. For a dummy, I admit it. I don't know what you're talking about. The calculus of the EPA versus jobs growth and versus the gross national product, if you put it in the MIT grinder, Jalen's a better quarterback every time he steps out of the toilet. Understand, dummy? Okay. Look at this guy. It's hard to understand, but it just means Jalen's not a better passer, jackass. Nobody in their brain cell would say that. 2903. He's not a better passer. John McMullen said it today. He's not a top 5 guy, even though I put him in the top 5. He is 9-4. That's a fact. Dak Prescott's 9-4 versus the Eagles. Ownership, man. Who would have thought? Baker Mayfield's 3-1, and Dak Prescott's 9-4. According to the MIT calculation of EPA. What a douchebag. How can you be? I mean, hey, look, if you hang an elephant off of the cliff, you can hold his tail by this force in this angle. Oh. Okay, get this. Who cares about 9-4? The NFL does. That's why they have them opening up Thursday night, September 4th. That's who cares. The NFL cares. Who cares? The NFL. How you doing? 9-4, Dak versus the defending champs. Yeah, okay. And the team with the most history of anybody in the NFL, especially in the NFC East, is the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? Yes, not the Giants or Washington. It's the Cowboys. MIT, dual threat for the win. Dual threat for the win. Holy cow. Dak Prescott, here, let's take a look at the offensive firepower heading into this game. By the way, did I say who was going to win? Did I say who was going to win? No. Who's going to be, how about this one? Who's going to be asked to carry his team in the opener? It ain't going to be the man time of the week. It's going to be Dak and Barkley. Man time of the week could just sit back and have a cocktail. He could sit back like Jake Elliott. Go ahead, Saquon. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. Yeah, go ahead, Barkley. I'll just sit back here and throw my 18 passes. So he ain't going to be asked to carry the team in that opener. The two stars in that game are going to be Barkley and Prescott, not Jalen. Jalen's the third. Jalen's the fourth guy, fifth guy. If I were going to rank the stars in this game, here, let me rank the stars for this game on September 4th. Who's the biggest star in this September 4th game? Dak Prescott. He's on the most visible team in American sports. He gets the most publicity of anybody. Shit, if you go to NFL Shop, they're pimping Shedeur Sanders' jersey over Hurts. I mean, really. It's Dak on the most visible team. Prescott has the most visible job in American sports. The starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. It's like playing center field for the Yankees. Okay? It's not Barkley. It's Dak. Barkley doesn't play on the most visible team in American sports and world sports history. And by the way, I think it's a joke too. Cowboys haven't done shit. I'm with you. I don't know why. I'll make a bet with you. If Dak has a better game than Hurts, I'll pay you $1,000. Come on, man. If Hurts has a better game, you have to invite me up along with Mark to watch me take a turd in that cowboy helmet off your shoulder. Hey, Big Marshall, I already see this. Dak Prescott in the Thursday night game. By the way, I haven't said who's going to win. 28-54 for 452 yards and 3 touchdowns versus that secondary that you guys are calling, fucking Slay, Gardner Johnson. We're going to replace him with Ambu Makuba and Keely Ringo Starr. Sills, what's a cowboy? What's a cowboy? Is that crap that was left on the side of the road? Come on, Kyle. Hurts the type of quarterback that throws with his pinky up. Oh, man. Pinky down. Here's Hurts' numbers in this game, September 4th. Ready? 12 of 18, 142 yards, a touchdown and a pick, 62 rushing, and another TD. It's about what he does. Barkley's going to be the guy in that ball game that you got to stop. It's not going to be pinky up, time man of the week. 12 of 18, 142, touchdown pick, 62 rushing. Dak's going to go for 452. Here, I'm going to rank the stars in this game. You ready? Here's the stars. Dak Prescott. Cowboys. He's the number one star in this game. Number 2, Barkley. Philly. Who's more famous, CeeDee Lamb or A.J. Brown? Who's more famous? Who's more famous, CeeDee or AJ? AJ's a better player in my eyes. Okay? Right? Yeah? Nobody's talking about a Super Bowl. I'm talking about September 4th. Stay with me, son. Let's see here. Get this. Why is that important? Because the NFL loves television ratings and what produce. You know why some of you don't get it? Is because television ratings pay the owners, not Super Bowl wins. TV ratings. That's why it's important. Hey, fans, over here, WWE, try not acting like a wrestling fan. The owners make more money off of TV than anything combined. That's why it matters. We don't care. They don't care what you think. Football-wise or Kardashian-wise. Kardashians sell. Boring doesn't. That's why it matters. And that's why the Cowboys. Do you know what the opener should have been? Detroit. The game that everyone wanted to see. That is what everyone wanted. Get this. Sileo is a ratings and stat guy. Okay? Yeah, because players are paid on stats. Your fucking head coach is paid on a win percentage. Yeah, okay? I guess. Sure. Thank you. I don't know what you want, kid. AJ is better, but Lamb gives them ratings. CeeDee Lamb is number 3 as the biggest star September 4th. A.J. Brown is number 4. Who are the biggest stars? Stars, I say, in this football game, September 4th. Number 5, Jerry Jones. Owner. Let's see. The TV camera will be on Dak, Barkley, CeeDee, AJ, Jerry Jones, and at number 6, Time Man of the Year, Jalen Hurts. Wait a minute. Who's more of a star? Micah Parsons or Jalen Hurts? I'll tell you what, 2 things were evident in media coverage. Cam Ward winning the Heisman or it was going to be a non-thing because he went to Miami. Cam Ward getting the number 1 overall draft selection and then moving off him to cover Shador. And the other one was watching how the media just ignored Jalen Hurts after he won the MVP award in the Super Bowl. Pickett's a star for beating up teammates. Don't forget that, Sills, while you're on the topic. I definitely will. Wait a minute. Hurts is not a bigger star than Micah Parsons. So Micah Parsons, number 6. Number 7. Got to put Hurts here. I mean, you got to be somewhere in here. Hurts at number 7. Number 8, Dallas Cowboys. George Pickens. 9, got to put Devontae. Philly. Dallas. Philly. Dallas. And number 10. Who would be the last guy, the most famous people, that top 10 famous people in that game? I think you're going to be shocked. I'm going to say Nick Sirianni. So here are your TV stars for September 4th opener. Dak Prescott's the biggest star in the opener. Saquon Barkley's number 2. CeeDee Lamb, number 3. Hills, are you saying CeeDee Lamb's better than AJ? No. I'm talking about who's more popular. No. I'm talking why this game was put there instead of the Detroit game. You're missing my point. That wasn't the game, the Cowboy game. The Cowboy game, I mean, it's important for the NFC East, but I wanted to see Detroit, the game that was supposed to be played. That's the game I wanted to see. Cowboy game was done for TV ratings. Big Dom. Now, Big Dom could be in there instead of Sirianni. Because Big Dom, okay, hey, I wonder, are they going to show, tell me this, who do they show more of in a game? Vic Fangio or Nick Sirianni when the television camera? So this will definitely, who do they show more on? Vic calling plays in the box or Sirianni on the sideline screaming at somebody? Huh? Probably going to hang there with Nick. So I'm going to go with Nicky. I'll hang there with Nicky. But I've seen Vic he gets a lot of camera time. Once again, who cares? The networks and the NFL. Missing the point, jackass. Look at this here. So far, we've come to the conclusion. Dak's going to have a pretty good football game against that secondary for the Cowboys. Oh, I'm predicting that. You're not going to get to him. With who? Joshua Uche. Jod Campbell. Oh, wait, he ain't playing. Nicole, wait, he ain't playing either. All right. So here are your top stars. Dak Prescott 1. Barkley 2. CeeDee Lamb 3. A.J. Brown 4. Jerry Jones 5. Biggest stars in this game on September 4th. You're going to see Jerry up there just drinking away on them vodka cranberries. he's going to be sitting up there, man, by the fourth quarter. He's going to be toast. He's just going to be drinking Mbaka cranberries. Let me help you out, Sills. Today's show, let's discuss who's the most delusional fan base. Okay, well, you know, I'll have to put that down. I don't know. After listening to you guys say that you're not going to have any drop-off with all the losses, you're getting closer. You're getting pretty close. Eagle fan base is pretty close. All those guys are replaceable and they're bums. Yeah, don't worry. Milton's a bum. Sweat's a bum. They're all bums. Replaceable. We're just as good. I don't know. Says who's running the ball for Dallas? I didn't predict them to win yet. Better yet, who's stopping? I didn't say they'd win. I never said that. I haven't picked a winner. Everyone's thinking for me here, and you know that's not the right thing to do because you never know what Big Sills is thinking. Who said I picked the Cowboys to win? I said Dak's going to outplay the caboose quarterback. It's 14-18, 140 yards. Touchdown. I don't know. 65 rushing. You know, touchdown. Barkley's going to be the guy. So let me get to my top 10 stars of the game on September 4th. Dak, Barkley, CD 3, AJ 4, Jerry Jones 5. That camera's going to be on that guy. I hope he has a hoochie mama sitting next to him. Micah Parsons, number 6. Jalen Hurts, number 7. Man, time of the year. George Pickens, 8. Devontae Smith, 9. And Nick Sirianni, 10. There's your big stars. You could always go to the buffoon coach and get a good response out of him. What are you doing? Every time I look at Sirianni on the sidelines, the thing I think that he's thinking is, I wonder what they're going to do. I don't know. Every time he just looks like, what are you doing? I don't know. He just has a confused look on his head. Sills, star number 10. Debbie Does Dallas. Tremendous flick. Heisman of porn. Thank you. Good night. So, yeah. Now, the best players in the game. Watch this list. Sills, put the top 10 best players in this game September 4th. Here's reality. Barkley, 1. AJ, 2. Lane, 3. Mulata, 4. CD, 5. Carter, 6. Bond, 7. Landon, 8. Parsons, 9. Cooper. By far, the Eagles have the most talented players going into this thing. And it's not really close. But that's not why that game was scheduled. There's 2 different reasons. Like I said, that game was scheduled for no other reason but for TV ratings. I mean, here, let me rank the games this year that I want to see as a fan. Okay? Here are the 10 games I'd want to see. Eagles-Cowboys, September 4th, number 1, now that you made it the opener. Absolutely. I want to see what Dallas has. I want to see if Dak's back. I want to see if any of that. Number 2, Eagles-Detroit. I want to see that Detroit team play against that Philadelphia team. Probably the two evenly matched. If not, Detroit having a better roster. If Detroit had both coordinators coming back, I'd pick them to win the NFC. They didn't lose anybody. You've lost 13 dudes and replaced them with draft picks and guys who won't play for half the year. Your first overall pick we may not see until week 9. Number 3, Eagle games I want to see this year. Eagles-Chiefs. Number 4, Eagles-Rams. Number 5, Eagles-Washington. Six, Eagles-Buffalo. Number 7, Eagles-Bucks. Number 8, Eagles-Green Bay. Number 9, Eagles-Chargers. And probably for my 10th one would be Eagles-Chicago. If I had to pick a game for the opener for Philly and I wanted a really good game, I'd have picked Detroit or the Rams. But since the NFL doesn't want to do it that way, they want a television rating bonanza. That's why the only reason they put Cowboys. Shit, you got the majority of the best players. Says, I want to see Eagles Bills in Kansas City. This could be a great football. Those are great football games. This Cowboy thing has a chance to be a train wreck. It's only there for TV ratings. There's nothing else. Nothing else. And the Cowboys attract tons of eyeballs. The Cowboy players are bigger stars than they are talented. Says, I love you, man, but I can't talk positive about a team who has an owner that uses meat analytics to draft his prospects. Dog, I'm not telling you they're doing the right thing. The only thing they've done right, Jerry got the best of both worlds. He's won 3 NFL Super Bowls. He's increased the value of the team that he bought for $154 million. And he's done it to the tune that it's the most expensive franchise on the planet. I don't know. Just because his Super Bowls came early. During his time, Jerry Jones has won 3 Super Bowls. Hey, whether it be at the beginning of the chapters or the end of the chapters, the book of Jerry Jones and owning the Cowboys has been a 1,000% success. He bought the team for $150 million. Leveraged every single thing that he owned. Everything he owned. Everything. I wonder if I still have that. I don't know if I still have it. I was there for it. I saw it. I saw the whole thing. I was there when he walked in the building. Jerry Jones has made the Cowboys the most recognizable sports team in the world. Hasn't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. I know. Hasn't been as successful as Philadelphia in the last 30 years. I know. All true. It's irrelevant. Like you guys tell me. So, well, ask a billionaire when he looks at the Cowboys. And by the way, I think that Jeffrey Lurie's increased. Look what he did. What did he buy the team for? $195? Things like what? $7 billion now? Gary's got a $20 billion operation in the Cowboys. If you sold the Cowboys, that would get in excess of $20 million. It's more expensive than Manchester United. And he's been part of the visibility exposure of the league. You know, there's 4 guys that are on that television committee. Jeffrey Lurie ain't one of them. Bob Kraft and Jerry are. I mean, okay. They suck? Yeah, okay. Does it matter? Here, let me give you something what your media people do. The Lakers and the Cowboys have stunk for what? The last 10 years? Outside of that Mickey Mouse thing that the Lakers won, they stink for 10 years. Yet, when you talk about the games that are on TV, Laker games are number 1 and Cowboy games are number 1. How many games last year did the Dallas Cowboys have in the top 100 TV-rated television shows? Dallas Cowboys TV ratings. I'll tell you why we're talking this. Top 100 shows. 2024. In 2024, the Dallas Cowboys, and see, this is, I didn't understand what John was saying today. In 2024, the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs tied for the most appearances in the top 100 most watched television U.S. broadcast, each appearing 13 times. The NFL dominated the list. Listen to this. 72 of the top 100 broadcasts are NFL games. And the Cowboys are in 13 of the top 30 appearances for the most watched television show. That's why they're going to open versus you guys. But Sills, we're better. No shit. No shit. We got more. You don't have more stars than the Cowboys. Sills, do we have better players? Oh, yeah. 2-1. Like I said, the game's Detroit or L.A. It's not Dallas. Look, what do I think that game will be at the end of the day? Dak's going to have a ton of garbage yards, and he's going to throw for about 400 yards, and the Eagles are going to beat that team 38-17. I'm going to beat them 38-17. Sills, this is, wait a minute. Are you saying, yeah, Dak's going to throw for about 400 yards. It's going to be in mop-up time because they're going to be behind. Barkley's going to go for about 238 yards. 238 yards in that game. That's why when I said Hurts is going to go, Hurts is not going to have to do shit. You have not. We're going to look at the Cowboys here in a second. Cowboys can't stop Barkley. What are you thinking about, people? Not you, Eagle fans, but Haas. Dak Prescott versus the Philadelphia Eagles is 9-4. How you doing? How you doing? Texas, you still got to prove to me you can stop Barkley. I believe that's true. I think CeeDee Lamb and I think that George Pickens are going to have a huge night. I do. Huge night. That's not going to be enough. That's not true. Dak, in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, Dak Prescott is 4-1. How you doing? Fake news. Why don't we just play Jalen Carter now? Why don't we just pay Jalen Carter now? Because you can't. And reset the market as early as possible. He's the best ET in football. Both, one, you can't. Secondly, that's not true. He's not better than the guy in New York. He's not. Not the best interior defensive tackle. Dak was 3-5 last season. We'll be okay. 9-4 versus the Eagles. Ownership papers. Look at Dak here, man. Those for about 262 yards, 767 completion percentage, 24 touchdowns in those 13 games. Look at that. Man. Look at that. Wow. Averages almost 270 yards passing. Look at these games, too. 374, 347, 455, 368 yards. This guy's destroyed you guys. Whoa. Man. Are there any regular season game trophies? What are we talking about? You're starting your regular season September 4th versus the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody's talking about playoffs on September 4th. All right? Nobody. It's matchup versus matchup, NFC East. What are you talking about? Stir what up? What has been a lie? Dak's 9-4 record? Sileo, what narrative? You're starting. Get this. I don't understand. You're right. I don't understand this guy. The New York offices of the NFL came out today and said that it's Cowboys and Eagles. Okay. Then you look at the matchups. And when Dak, who I'm assuming is going to be the starting quarterback, he's 9-4 versus the Eagles. And Jalen's what? Versus Dak. What is he? He is, here we go, 5-4. Okay. What's the narrative? Remember what? Oh, what Dak has done. I got it. Okay. No, what Dak has done. All right. You should. He's 9-4. He's had career games against you too, actually. I mean, it's not like he's played poorly. I'm not sure what you're talking about, kid. You shat on us for... I'm talking about the September 4th matchup. Hey, it's the only game that has been announced. I do a sports talk show. I'm talking Cowboys and Eagle matchup. What are you upset about? Okay. Don't leave out the part that Dak being in the league the longest in the NFC East out of all the quarterbacks. All right. So let's go back then. How long has Hurts been in the league as a starter? Since 2021. Let's do that. Let's go here. 2021. All right. So we go back to 21. And Dak Prescott, since Jalen Hurts has been in the league, Dak Prescott is 4-1. So let's take a look. Since Jalen Hurts has been, and we'll go back to 2019 to make it fair so that we can have a fair comparison on this fine September 4th. Okay, so 2021 became a starter, right? Okay. So Dak went 21 of 26 for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns. And in 2022, he got hurt in that year of 21. 22, they swept the Eagles. They didn't sweep the Eagles. They couldn't have. That number's wrong. No way, 22. They swept the Eagles. Did they beat the Cowboys? The Cowboys didn't sweep them in 22. Did they? Oh, no, this was 1-8, 22. That was the 21 season. Okay. That went later. So 21, they did sweep them that season. They swept the Eagles in 21. He went 21 of 26 for 240 and 3 touchdowns. And then on the 8th of the 2022, he went 21 of 27 with 5 touchdowns. Then he got beat 23-11-5 to Philadelphia. And he threw for 374 and 3 touchdowns. And then December 10th, he won. He was 24-39 for 271. 4-1 versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Since 2021. Sills, I met Malcolm through my cousin who's a union boss in Pittsburgh. Love to hear that. Okay? All irrelevant to today. Then your Super Bowl's irrelevant to today. Right? Shady? If his success versus you is irrelevant, the 2024 Super Bowl is irrelevant. Right? Irrelevant. Right? Man. Right? Break down the matchups. Let's see. Hey, Sills. Look at this. Nobody's talking about the playoffs. How would I know? On May 12th. I was just told today. September 4th. Cowboys and Eagles. I don't know anything about the playoffs right now. I only know you're opening the season versus the Cowboys. Not sure what to say. We found out today the opener is Dallas and Philly. Hey, I want to be. Super Bowls are totally relevant. That was a heck of a team. Too bad you're not bringing it back. Watch the next one. We're bringing our core back. I love your core thing. Your core back. Bringing our core. Yeah, okay. We got Bond and Carter. I know. There's like the 9 other guys that play on that defense too. It's all right. No, I don't think that's how that works. I think it's the other way around. Okay. Dak swept a second-round rookie last time Dak played in a playoff. He got his Cowgirls kicked. Yeah, I'm talking about September 4th. Why are you guys talking down the line? I'm not talking about the playoffs. I'm not talking about who's going to win the Super Bowl. I'm barely talking about who's going to win the game. Seals, do you think week 1 is going to be played like it's a preseason game? No, not because it's Cowboys and Eagles, and it's a division game. It's 1.5. You know what I mean? And anytime you play a division game, that matters. You know, you don't want to get off to a bad start 0-1 in your division, especially against a Cowboy team that is fighting for its identity. They don't have an identity right now. Cowboys used to have an identity. They wanted to run and play action. Well, they can't play action without a running game. Okay? They can't. It's not NFC East football when Eagles are playing Cooper Rush. Yes, it is. And here, watch this. Hey, welcome to the NFL. It's called the war of attrition. You can't put your guys out there or you don't want to? That's irrelevant. It's all part of it. When Cooper Rush is playing for the Cowboys, that's part of it. If Jalen Hurts gets hurt and they lose, that's part of it. It's called football. That's disrespecting what Nick Foles did by picking up the torch and winning a Super Bowl. That's why that's one of the greatest stories of all time. That was a football team that was resilient, was not going to let go of the rope. And they didn't. They went on to win it. I mean, well, Detroit had a lot of injuries last year. So what? The Eagles didn't. Dude, well, guess what? Too bad. It's all part. It's why you have 53 guys on a roster. It's all 53. Well, we didn't have all of our guys versus the Bucs. That's not the Bucs' fault. That's a you thing. That's part of the season. Well, you know, we wouldn't. Hey, I remember Baker Mayfield going up and down on your defensive football team. And I don't remember A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith being a factor on that defense getting trucked by the Bucs. Who was out in that game? You got destroyed because you didn't want to play. It had nothing to do with A.J. Brown and Devontae. You got your asses handed to you. Was that an indictment on the season? No, it was a moment on the schedule. It's not an indictment. None of those games like that are. 2-2 is a good thing for the Eagles last year. Why? Because it had self-evaluation, the bye, you came out of it, you never looked back. It's part of it. That's called NFL football. That's why when you start a season or you have a take, most of those takes are not going to be set in stone because you don't know what the war of attrition is going to have for you. That's why there's nothing certain about the league. You can't have the same take in September. Get this. Many of you predicted that Jalen Hurts last year was going to throw for 4,700 yards and 40 touchdowns. Many of you. You reevaluated that after week 4 when you saw them give, rightfully so. You guys completely flip-flopped on Hurts. Completely flip-flopped on him. How many people in here will lie and say that they didn't predict him to throw for $4,000 and north of 35 touchdowns? Almost 95% of you did. Remember what I asked you? All of you said, there were many guys who said north of 4,500 yards. But after week 4, you went, I don't know, man. I think this guy Barkley, I think he's going to change the way that they do business. And they did. Okay? Yeah, look at this guy. I'm sure he predicted that Jalen would throw for less than $3,000. How many people believe that? That Flexen picked Jalen Hurts to throw for less than 20 touchdowns and $3,000, and they would win the Super Bowl. How many people believe that? He'd throw for less than $3,000 and 20 TDs. Of course you guys do. Because you're freaking liars. How you doing? Shit, I remember M. Reyes talking big numbers for Hurts last year. What happened? Flip-flop. What happened? What happened? Oh, man, it's always good. Absolutely. Can't get any better, baby. I was the one calling him mid, you dumb F. He's still mid as a passer. I'm the one. Yeah, I'm the one. Sounds like an Eagle fan. I think he's a mid-range quarterback. Yeah, that sounds like flex. How you doing? All right, where are we going now? Too bad. All right, let's take a look at those Cowboys. Let's take a look at them. Now, wait a minute. No. I didn't take a look at this. I didn't do this yet. The vaunted Cowboy. Here we go. Hit the like button, guys. Here we go. This guy's going to try justifying himself to me for the next 20 minutes. Where you get your 7-9 win prediction from? No, I said they'd win 9 ball games. Thank you. I first said 7, then I said 9. Because I didn't. Old news. 2025, September 4th. Start of the NFL season. One game we now know will be played will be the 9-4 Dak Prescott versus the Philadelphia Eagles, where Jalen Hurts is 5-4 versus a Dak Prescott team. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This ought to be great on the 4th of September. So let's take a look at matchups heading into this. Cowboys with Dak back. Let's see what Dak did. Can't really say what Prescott did a year ago. I think he only played like 8 ball games. So let's take a look at Dak. Let's see here. Here we go. Okay, he played a full season the year before. So here's Prescott. Dak threw for 4,516 yards, led the NFL in touchdown passes with 36, had 9 picks, 590 passes, 410. This guy had more completions in 1 year than Hurts had in attempts this past season. What a thrower of the football. Pretty good throwing of the football. Dak and Hurts. Running back, Javonte Williams. Who? And Barkley, 2105. That's not even a debate. CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown. Who's better? Let's take a look at CeeDee. Let's take a look at CeeDee Lamb, where CeeDee is since he's come into the league. CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee stats. How about since what's his name's come to the Eagles? So we'll take a look at CeeDee. We'll compare him versus Devontae because guys are paid on numbers. So let's take a look at this. Oh, Lamb was shut down after week 15. I forgot that. So he's got 1194. Had 6 TDs. Year before, oh, how many catches? He had 101. Year before, he had 135, led the NFL in receptions with 1749 and 12. It's 18, 13, 14, 9, 29, 6, 236. This is going to be pretty close, I think. So let's go over here to CeeDee Lamb. 13, let's go 1,400 yards. 9 and 1359. Oh, no, what is that? 107. 343, 3, 4, 13, 3, 4. So in 3 years, Lamb has 27 touchdowns, 343 receptions, and 4,343. Let's take a look at old A.J. Brown. See where he's been. He's got big numbers too, man. See how close that is. A.J. Brown. See what he did a year ago. AJ's got 1,079, 67 catches, 7 TDs. Year before that, 106. Great year. 14, 56, and 7. 7, 173, 13, 10, 6, 14. The year before that, he had 1496. Man, those are good years. 7. Yep. And 88. 9. Wow. It's pretty close. Pretty close. Here's what you have in difference last 3 football seasons. CeeDee Lamb's 343 catches to 258. Yardage 43-43 for Lamb. 4,099 for AJ. 21 touchdowns and 27. Who's a better wide receiver? It's AJ Brown. It's not close. He's not in the slot. I'm convinced to this day, if you put AJ Brown in the slot, he'd have 200 catches. Hey, Texas. I mean, let's not forget, too, there's another dude in the building, too. His name is Devontae Smith that they got to that they've got to feed over there, too, on that side of the ball. Bro, I'm telling you, those I would never have said if you told me in the last 3 years that theoretically CeeDee Lamb has 200 yards more receptions and reception yardage to A.J. Brown, and A.J. had a down year because he was injured last year, I would tell you you're high. I can't believe. And get this, 343 catches for 43-43 versus 258 catches. His yards per catch are through the roof. A.J. Brown's a better ball player. And he blocks in the run game. He is a better ball player. Look, by the way, CeeDee's a really good player. CeeDee's a really good player. But I'm sorry. I don't really think they're that close. I just don't think it's that close. Okay? I don't. He blocks in the run game. He's effective in the run game. And he gives you the same numbers that Lamb gives you, but he does it on the numbers versus in the slot. How do you say he's better? He doesn't. He has more catches. AJ has more yards per catch. I'll take more yards per catch versus targets and catches any day. Get this. Who's more of a weapon? CeeDee Lamb at 12 yards a catch or A.J. Brown at 17 yards a catch? A.J. Brown. Lamb's a good player. Okay? He's a fine. Not debating that. Okay? A.J. Brown, how about if I said this to you? You tell me this. Is A.J. Brown actually underrated? I didn't think he was that close in yardage. Is he underrated? Look, I think Jefferson's better. But I think A.J. Brown is underrated. He's an underrated player. By the way, I posted his commencement speech. I think either yesterday or this morning. And it was great. He sees himself as a business. And so when I was talking the other day about targets and all, I want to show you something here. Okay. I want to make a point to you guys on something. Remember what I told you about A.J. Brown this coming season? About touches and about how he's perceived in the league. I heard Xander this morning. I'm glad he liked that commencement speech. But let me ask you something. So when you hear this, okay, this guy's talking about his brand. You think getting less targets and not having a higher priced or effective offense to him is going to go over with a guy whose brand is one of the most important things to him? That was his commencement speech. Him telling you how important his brand is. And you guys glaze over that like that's just going to be, well, you know, he's a team. That's not who that guy is. That guy was talking about his brand. Your discipline or your assets. He sees himself as a business. And if the business doesn't come calling to him, you know, all of it goes into the grinder of success to him. Mind you, Lamb has a better passing quarterback. It's true, he does. He gets all the targets, yet Brown has more yards and TDs. Brown is the top 3, Lamb is the top 7. You're right, Sills. Dak's by far a better passer than Hurts. Then again, it's a better passing offense. It always has been better than Philly. It always will be. It's not a rip. It's how you win games. As a matter of fact, would you not say this, Anthony? The way the Eagles win are the way the Dallas Cowboys won under Jimmy Johnson and what produced all those Super Bowls. Who would you rather be? The Tony Romo or Dak Prescott offense or a team that wins Super Bowls? And they win with running the ball. Right? Remember, in 22, AJ was held to 7 yards against the Washingtons. CeeDee Lamb never had that happen to him ever. It's harder to get numbers on the numbers than inside. Dude, I'm sorry, man. Playing the slot position versus playing the numbers are two different things. Seals, the 24 Eagle defense was like the 81 49er defense. No big name guys other than Ronnie Lott. Charles Haley was on that team. Oh, wait, the 81 Niners. Keith Fonhorst, Hacksaw Reynolds. Yeah, there wasn't really any big names. Hacksaw Reynolds, probably in the middle, was probably the biggest name. I mean, Pillars. I don't even remember that front. Okay, I don't. Sills, DeJean had CD in jail. Silence of the Lamb. It's going to be the same thing this year. Cooper is annoying, freaky hindrance. Here, I would say this. That secondary is not going to be the same, Brian, without Slay and C.J. Gardner-Johnson back there. It's not going to be the same. Still, Aikman was winning Super Bowls when Favre, Young, Elway, Marino, Kelly were all playing. Aikman average yards. It's a different league, though, too. And you know that. It's a different NFL. But they would have done the same thing. Well, get this. Aikman wasn't the star in the building. No one would ever say that those Aikman teams, Troy was the catalyst. They could have won those Super Bowls with anybody in that position, in my opinion, because they had Emmett. And they had that O-line. And as long as they didn't get in their way, they would have won the Super Bowl. They could have won that Super Bowl, in my opinion, how good they were on defense with Steve Berline. Dallas is a finesse team. Eagles win with power. Yes. Chills, I remember some idiots saying $5,000. I know that Jalen Hurts is going to throw for 5,000 yards. He could throw for $3,000. Didn't matter. People were saying all season CD can't cover. And he lets up too much and too many plays. Now all of a sudden he can't. Get this. That is a fucking lie. The two-eye safety, the guys who are threatened the most are the safeties. You're out of your tree. If you think that Tristan McCullum is going to replace that guy, you're high. Or that dude you keep calling to me, Keely Ringo. You want to know delusional fan base? Right there is a delusional fan base that thinks that some kid out of Texas who couldn't cover in the playoffs is going to cover in the NFC East. Okay, good luck. Good luck. Get this. Wait. Keely Ringo slander? I'm only slandering him because the defensive coordinator did. He never played him. He played Isaiah Rodgers. You can't get over that. You have no explanation. They were both on the team last year. And if you thought you were going to lose Slay and you were going to go to Ringo, why did you play Isaiah? You can't answer that. Why? Because he's a better fit? Well, they did win the Super Bowl. You have no explanation except for one a year ago on why Vic Fangio never played that guy. Get this, experience? Hey, folks, the year previous, he was suspended for gambling. And the year before that, he was known more for special teams in Indianapolis. That's a lie. That guy had played no football at corner, basically. You're lying. You're making something up to sound like that kid is going to be a replacement for Darius Slay. That's a complete lie. That's right. In Vic we trust. That's why Adoree Jackson is number 1 on the depth chart right now. And it's not Keely Ringo. Let's take a look at this for a second here. I want to show you what a bunch of BS this is. On every single time that an Eagle guy is no longer on the team, all of a sudden, this guy turns out to be some bum. Isaiah Rodgers. All right, let's take a look at this. Isaiah Rodgers. Okay. This is going to be good. All right. Isaiah Rodgers. Listen to what this guy just said. Experience. Isaiah Rodgers started in Indianapolis out of 45 games. He started 10 ball games. And in Philly, he started 3. In 60 NFL games, he started 13 games. And yet you're trying to tell me a year ago, Keely Ringo, well, he just wasn't ready yet. And you're talking about a guy who was suspended. Sills, you know, Slay was a pity start. Isaiah was a starter in Indy, so he was solid. He didn't start in Indy. Sills, this slander to my 7th heaven is unhinged. Ringo fucking star. Bro, he didn't start in Indy. He did not. If they trade for Ramsey, would you change your opinion? Yeah. How much money is that going to be? Yes, of course. He's a great player. Bro, I'm telling you, Anthony, I think the problem was Xavier Howard. I don't think it was Ramsey. Howard was the big mouth down there. That was the guy who was barking at Vic. I don't remember Ramsey barking at him. Sills, we're on offense at Dallas even get better. They have a new play caller, just like us, a new DC, a shitty O-line, Dak coming off, the rest due to injury. Can't wait for Booker versus Carter. You know how you get away from that, Abe? Abe, do you actually believe that you're going to have straight drop back with a guy like Jalen Carter in there versus a rookie? You're going to have slide protection. They're not going to straight drop back. It's going to be slide protection. You're not even going to block him zone. You can't have head up. That's not going to be a man-to-man competition. That's going to be more of a 2-guy sliding weak side or strong side. I'll tell you one thing that Dak Prescott does superior to anything that Hurts does. You know what that is? He sets protections better. Jalen Hurts, after all these years, that was his first season a year ago, setting them. And he struggled. That's why they went to the run game. He was great in the playoffs, in the title game, NFC, and Super Bowl. I thought his best year. And I'll be fair, I think he got better as the season went on. He got better at setting them. He did. He got better. He did. Okay? Now he's got to adjust again to what the one thing he struggled with mightily, taking sacks. Hurts has got to get better at that. That's why they don't drop back as much as every other team, because 2 things. They can run it, and the quarterback takes sacks. He took 45 of them. I mean, same amount of passing attempts or a little more, about 100 more Allen had 14 all year. Your guy had 45. Okay? I thought he got better. How do you know Keeley won't get better this year? How do you, dude? Why? Okay, then Chris, why didn't he play him a year ago? Over Isaiah Rodgers, who was suspended the year previous. Why did Keely Ringo get the first look? As a matter of fact, I remember he did. And then they realized he couldn't play. And now you've got a free agent already on the depth chart ahead of him. You can't answer that. He's too young? Okay. So when you guys tell me Isaiah Rodgers has all this experience, Isaiah Rodgers in 45 games in Indianapolis started 10. Oy. Yes, sir, baby. You want a ratings monster? You put Dallas Cowboys September 4th. That's not the real game. You should have been Detroit. You wanted a real football game. You put like the Rams or the Lions in there. But if you want star power, TV ratings, baby, you go with the offseason champions, the one and only Dallas Cowboys. And Dak in 9-4. 9-4. By the way, Sills, what about the playoffs? I'm talking, I only know of one game right now. September 4th, baby. Primetime game. Man. Whew. See, this is the show that you guys can have some fun and we can do some projecting. My poor boy, Xander. No what ifs. No, we don't do that here. He's no birthday boy. Hope it's all good for him. Hope you had a great weekend, man. We bring in the one and only Big Z. Xander Krause. Now, how you doing, brother?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
How was the weekend for you, man?
Good, man. Great. Hope everybody had a great Mother's Day, one of the great days of the year to honor the beautiful women in all of our lives. So happy Mother's Day to everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Sills, hope you had a great weekend. I know you were killing it on the radio down in Tampa. So good job, brother.
Thank you, man. Yeah, no, we had our first radio show in 13 years in Tampa. A lot of people, the program director, everybody was thrilled to death. And I kept saying this. I go, hey, man, that's one of the games of the year I want to see. I want to see Bucks and Eagles. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's going to be down in Tampa again. So I think that's going to be a game you're going to have to circle.
It is supposed to be down there, Tampa.
Okay. What do you make, man? Cowboys in Eagles September 4th, dropping the banner Thursday night, Lincoln Financial. What do you make of it?
I absolutely love it. All right. I absolutely love it. Whether Eagles fans want to admit it or not, Cowboys games mean more to us. We care about them more. The world cares about them more. We might hate the Cowboys, but they are a superpower when it comes to the world audience, the global audience checking in on football. So Eagles, Cowboys, Super Bowl champs versus the prima donna Cowboys. It doesn't get better than that. It really brings even more attention that was already going to be on that opening week. I think it's even heightened more, and I'm super pumped about playing the Cowboys week 1. And I wouldn't rule them out just yet. I think they're going to be a solid squad. And the thing about getting them early is they haven't been knocked off their perch yet, right? So they're coming in confident. And the other thing is I said to my viewers this morning on Xander Time, think about it from both sides. You're an Eagle fan. We think, Dak's a choke artist. We're the Super Bowl champs, all of these things. And I get that. But Cowboys coming in with nothing to lose, really.
No.
Right? You're going into Philly's territory. You can knock off them in their week 1 game. All right. And all the things are kind of going for Dallas, where I view it kind of as a win-win for them. So they have nothing to lose. And I think that's what makes great football games. So I'm super excited about the game for sure.
Yeah, I just got my feedback back from MIT. Per True Media here with the highest EPA drop back for quarterbacks since 2000 with a 5.678 percentage in completions over the time of Dak and Jalen Hurts. If you move the point over and you take the slide ruler, Hurts is a better passer. And I'm like, hey, for me, again, I'm not like an MIT guy, obviously, here. But I mean, hey, if you want to take a number, how about 9-4 versus the Eagles? Nobody's talking about postseason. What I'm talking about now is why do you think he has great success versus the Philadelphia Eagles?
Because he's a good quarterback. He's a choke artist when the lights are bright. But overall, he's been a good quarterback. Now there's been a lot of times. I think only him and Jalen have only faced off 3 times in Jalen's 4.5 year career. So it hasn't really worked out in terms of those two creating a fun rivalry. It hasn't really. It's kind of been a big nothing burger between the two so far. Only 3 games between them. But look, Dak's a good quarterback. He's not a good playoff quarterback. And, that has to be factored into every discussion. I'm not going to sit here and lie to people and tell you Dak's not a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. He throws the ball as good as anybody in the league. So he's a good player. Sometimes they have good players around him. I think they do have good players around him coming into this year. My big question on them, though, is what's that offensive line like, dude? I mean, do they have any proven asset on that offensive line? Tyler Guyton was legitimately one of the worst offensive linemen in the league last year.
Yes.
I mean, Tyler Booker, I like him out of Alabama, but he's an unknown. He's a rookie coming in. I think they have another Tyler on the line, if I'm not mistaken, but Zach Martin's gone. I mean, the big days of the Cowboys offensive line are long gone. So what does that offensive line look like? And that could be a chance for the Eagles.
What do you think, or who do you think is more of a problem to play against, Jaden Daniels or Dak?
I think Jaden presents more problems in the modern game because of his escapability. Now, the one thing with Dak is he can sit in the pocket and dissect you and pick you apart. But I think in the modern game, there's a reason that you see the resurgence of dual threat quarterbacks coming on. I mean, you also just had you talked about how dual threats don't win. Well, they did win now. Jalen's a Super Bowl champion. Lamar, Josh Allen, everybody that's coming into the league, even look at the guys who were just drafted this year in the first round. All of them have dual threat ability. So I think it's Jaden from that perspective, but that's not to take away from what Dak can do.
What about Dak matching up against a different secondary than you had a year ago?
Well, did we even play Dak last year?
Well, last year's number 2 ranked defense. No. What I'm saying is last year, your defense was the second best pass defense, maybe the first.
Yeah.
I forget. In all of football. I mean, well, you've lost half of it.
Yeah, no, I know. And remember, it took us a little bit to get going last year. Yeah. It took us till week 5 to get to discover that number 1 overall defense. So that's the one thing I will say objectively is an advantage for the Cowboys. Like I saw my boy Twiz, and sometimes Twiz is just a big brain fart. Twiz, he says nothing to lose. Well, Twiz, you tell me, what do they have to lose versus what we have to lose? We're the Super Bowl champs. If they come in and beat us, yeah, it's their Super Bowl, and we can make fun of them for in the playoffs. But they have nothing to lose. If we win, we say exactly as expected. We're the Super Bowl champs. Go back to your cave. They have nothing to lose. They're coming to Philly. It doesn't really matter if they lose. It's not going to define their season. They're not expected to win. They opened up as 7-point dogs in the game. They got nothing to lose. So coming in from that perspective, I think you can't take them lightly or anything, but I think we're in a good spot. Good spot. And I love the game, by the way, just because I think it's going to bring in a lot of viewers.
How much pressure going into this game do you think's on Kevin Patullo?
Not too much.
Well, wait. So what are your expectations on how the offense is going to look versus the Dallas Cowboy team? I mean, if they're going to run it, probably not. But everyone's been telling me they're going to need more from the offense this year. Yeah. And that side of the ball, do you expect any nuanced changes in week 1? Or do you think they're just going to go into this game? What I would do, and I would ask Dallas, well, hey, look, you guys may have done some nice things in the offseason here, according to you guys, but let's just find out if you guys have done anything. Let's take the first 11, 13 plays and let's run the football right down their throat. If they can't run it, I mean, end of the day, why would I change my philosophy?
Yeah, and I don't think you'll see much change. I mean, Sills, here's the reality. We've had how many new coordinators with Jalen Hurts? I mean, what is it, four now? Yeah, so you're going on your fourth and his fifth year starting. And the reality is, which everybody should be happy with, by the way, is it's not one of the coordinator's offenses. It's Jalen Hurts' offense. So it's not going to be grandiose and big difference. It's not. It's going to look pretty similar to how it looked last year, with maybe 5 to 10% difference in what they do, especially week one. By the way, who's stopping the Eagles' run game in that defensive line?
That's like, what I said. People misinterpreted what I said here. I go, dude, the Dallas Cowboys have stars all over that team. I mean, Micah Parsons is a bigger star in many people's eyes than even Jalen Hurts. But that don't make him a better ball player. I mean, the Eagles by far had the better ball players. I mean, but again, because you play for the Cowboys, your brand is accentuated more. It just is. But that doesn't mean anything at the end of the day with winning and losing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But I mean, look, I don't think Petula is going to come in and change the apple cart too much. Like I'm kind of with Bob says, he should be flogged if he brings new stuff, and he doesn't need to. Bob, you're right. We were one of the best offenses of football last year when it came to running the ball. So, but I like the I'm actually one of the people that I like this Cowboys roster a little bit more than most. But I will say this: their defense is built to stop the pass. Okay, they got great secondary players. They got Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland. They got the safeties. They got overshown. Micah Parsons is obviously an exceptional pass rusher. Who stops the run?
Right.
Who stops the run? Nobody is built on that team to stop the run. So I think the offense is going to look exactly like it did last year. And I don't know if the Cowboys are going to be able to stop it.
Okay, Cowboys versus the Eagle defense. That's going to be the game here. I mean, look, Javonte Williams. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, they're looking at free agent running backs right now. He wasn't awful, almost 4 yards a carry, but 500 yards. I mean, they need more out of that position if they're going to go anywhere. I don't know what Chubb is going to do. I don't even know if he's healthy to do anything. Sanders is going to give you nothing. So in my opinion, right there, here's how you beat the Dallas Cowboys come September 4th. You keep them in 3rd and long. Because if they can't get that run game, Dak's not a RPO guy. So it is going to be all about controlling the run.
Yeah, but at least they have the targets now. They used to not even have anybody next to CD. At least they have a deep threat now. And by the way, what's the biggest weakness on the Eagles team coming into the year?
Secondary.
Right. It's Keely Ringo and it's Sidney Brown or Andrew Makuba, whatever they are. We don't know what any of those guys are going to be. Now, hey, maybe they're great, but we don't know that, especially coming into week one.
I think also it's going to have ramifications for the 4 across. I don't think you can just have and someone go, well, the right side of the secondary. One thing you had last year is that you had great communication. You had really a great young star and a veteran leader at the corner. And guess what else you had? You had another veteran leader, albeit a big mouth, Gardner Johnson in the middle with Reed. Right. Look at the experience you had with Reed and CJ sitting at the safety position. You have none of that right now, where again, how much more communication and how much more of a leadership role is Reed going to have to play? He's going to have to be even louder out there. And because now, I mean, Slay could tell a kid, hey, CJ, maybe you need to play a little bit deeper because this kid likes to do an in and out fake. And you're missing that kind of in-game conversations when you don't have the veteran guy. I'm telling you, man, don't be shocked if that Justin Simmons kid doesn't end up on your football team in some aspect. I would not be shocked if they're not looking at that in some aspect going, do we need the veteran leadership back there?
Well, if you get him, I mean, I think even if you're somebody that doesn't want him, it does change a little bit of the perspective coming into the season when you bring in a guy like that who's got that many snaps. I mean, that's veteran. He's been around a long time, so I think it would help. But bottom line is, Sills, this is a great football game to open the season with, dude, on Thursday. It's a great game. I do think there's a chance that the Eagles could blow them out if the Cowboys, don't have the right pieces, and they are flawed when it comes to the line. So I think there's a good chance the Eagles could blow them out, but I think it's going to be a great game. And I think the build up to the game will maybe be even better than the actual game. I mean, look, I said the Cowboys are decent in a couple areas, and I got a bunch of cisspot crybabies.
Hey,
what do you want, man? What do you want? Me to lie to you? You want me to glaze you and make you feel better? Yeah, wuss. Come
let me
on, everybody.
let me give you my impression of what I think this game's going to be when it comes to the buildup. You ever really see a great movie poster and it's just great? I mean, it's got you the promos, they run on TV. You go to the movie and you're like this, holy shit, that thing sucked.
Stunk, yeah.
I mean, you mean I
This is
sat
why
here
I'm
for
not a
3.5
movie guy,
hours?
because every movie I watch, I get that feeling. I'm like, that was a waste of my 2 hours. But that's why I don't watch
You
movies
watch
anymore.
the buildup, you're watching all that, and you're like, holy shit, this thing stunk. I mean, yeah, I'll tell you one thing Dallas has done differently. They've also done a schematic change on their offense. They're running a fullback now.
Who, the Eagles?
No,
The Cowboys are too?
Yep. Cowboys implemented
Well,
a
their running
fullback.
game is putrid, so it wouldn't surprise me if they switch it up because they got, leftover Miles Sanders, who wasn't even good when he was the main course. They got
Look at
Javonte
you,
Williams.
man. He had 1,300 yards for you, and you called him a stiff.
He's a stiff. Is he not a stiff? Wait, Sills, you want me to replay
He had
it?
the fourth best rushing effort in Eagle history, and he's a stiff.
Ready? You know what wait. We know what we trashed Dak about, right? The lights are bright. The Eagles have made it to the big stage. Play number 1. Hand it off to Miles Sanders. Sorry, Sills. I can't buy that, brother. I can't buy that.
Fourth best rushing attempt season in Eagle history. He was a stiff. Come on.
And was that because of Miles Sanders, or was that because of the offensive line?
O-line. The reason why what's his name got $2,000. O-line.
Barkley was clearly that much better and didn't fumble the ball in the big game.
Better player. Okay. You turned average dudes into Pro Bowlers.
Are you trying to tell me that them having Miles Sanders is a big addition to their offense? Okay.
Absolutely not. I'm saying
so you're fighting with semantics.
I'm saying having a fullback matters more than having Miles Sanders on that team, because that means they're going to something different here. They're trying to.
Who are they using as fullback?
What's that?
Who are they using as their fullback?
What did I hear there? They're putting on Hunter Lupke. They're using here. Let me take a look at this O-line here.
That should tip the odds.
What's this? Tyler Guyton. Tyler Smith. The kid Cooper Beebe had a horrible year. Tyler Booker got the rookie starting right away. And Terrence Steele's a good player. Terrence Steele's their best O-lineman. But, dude, I look at that O-line, and you know what I say? Rank it in the NFL. $17th?
That O-line, that's generous.
Okay. 17th? Dak's going to make it better because he's going to get the ball out of his hands quicker. Okay.
Oh, man. I like that. I'm not a Dak hater at all. I mean, he stinks in the playoffs when the lights are bright. So he's like a Miles Sanders.
Dak's going to throw for 458 yards in this game against Philly on September 4th, but they're going to get beat 38-17 because it's going to be garbage. Oh, yeah. Why? He always does.
No, he always does. He's never done that maybe
Bro,
ever.
This guy averages 270 yards for a career in his 13 games versus the Eagles.
That's not 450.
No, you're right. He's only
thrown. What's the most Dak has ever thrown? Wait a second. What is the most Dak has ever thrown yardage-wise versus the Eagles in his
455.
Career? There you go. 2018. You're not living on 2018, no, are you, Sileo?
No, I'm living off of this in the last 4 starts against them. 5 starts. He's 4-1. He's 21 of 26, 238 and 3, 21 of 27, 295, 27 of 35, 347, 29 of 44, 374. I'm not sure what we're looking at here.
Yeah, no, listen, he's good. We've talked about this.
I got it. I'm with you.
I mean, the guy can play. I'm not a Dak hater at all. I think Dak can play, but that doesn't mean I think they're going to be better than the Eagles are this year. I think the Eagles are just a more ready team. I think they're a better team. They're returning 10 of 11 offensive starters. I know you have the defensive question marks, but I mean, put them up with the question marks on Dallas's side. By the way, Dak Prescott, for all the love that we've been giving him on this show, he still has question marks too. He had one of his worst seasons in the first 7 weeks last year, and he's coming off a big injury.
Ton
Right?
of
He's
picks.
32 years old.
Ton of
How
picks.
good is he going to be? You know?
Absolutely. Hey, by the way, like I said, I think he's going to throw for a shitload of yards, but I think the Eagles are going to win 38-17.
38-17? Are you already predicting that?
Where are they better?
I don't see anywhere that the Cowboys are better.
Again, this is a height game.
I don't see one spot. Maybe edge rushers because of Micah.
Maybe. Okay. And
Yeah,
get
but
this.
Micah can get to the quarterback. He's proven that.
Over Lane, never happened.
Well, I'm talking about in general. I wasn't talking about.
Yeah, in general, sure. When he's playing the Giants, right? Hey, here's my games.
Wait a second. Do you think Nolan Smith would get to the quarterback on Lane?
No.
Not in a million years.
Right.
Nobody gets to the quarterback on Lane. That's not a good comp.
The Eagles.
Kicker. There you go, Rob. They're better at kicker.
Hey, the Eagles have the kryptonite for the Cowboys when it comes to edge rushers. Both tackles.
Wait, so you're predicting – wait a second.
It's not close.
There's no bigger Jalen basher in the city of Philadelphia than Dan Sileo.
Basher, I'm a realist.
Okay, that's fine. You can call. I don't have a problem with the way you do content. I know you know that.
I heard John McMullen go, I can't put Hurts in the top 5. I'm like, I don't know. I say something different. And everyone gets on me as a hater. I don't know. Go ahead. Please continue.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, you hate on Jalen all the time. And I don't remember what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought on it.
Okay.
But,
well, at the end of the day here, the game will be Barkley and Dak. Then if Hurts happens to bring the mail, we're ready to rock here. But here are the games. Here are the games I thought should have been for September. The Detroit game should have been the game that we all wanted to see last year. And I wanted to see that game. That should be the opener. The Cowboy game's a TV game, dude. That's all it is. You know, the Cowboys last year, 13 games of the top 50 television programs. The Cowboys had the top 13 TV shows of any program in the country.
what does that prove about playing the game of football?
0. But you know what pays?
It proves my initial point that there's going to be a lot of people watching this thing.
But you know what pays the owners? Television ratings.
Yeah, I know why everybody glazes the Cowboys. I mean, it's not lost on me. At the end of the day, I'm in media. I mean, I get it. You know,
we're gonna blow them out.
You think we're going to blow them out? You think 38-17? Wait a second. All right, I remember what I was going to say. You're the biggest Jalen basher, and you got this team in week 1 scoring 38 points
against that shitty defense. Yeah,
38 points is a hefty number.
What do you think has a better defense, Kansas City or
definitely Kansas City,
the Cowboys? And you pretty much got the same group.
Kansas City's defense had holes as we exploited.
You're running it back except for Becton, right? Everyone except Becton.
From an offensive perspective, you're correct. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't see the Eagles scoring 38 points in week 1. I think it's going to be, 28, 26? 30, somewhere in that range. I can see that.
Like that, 26-14.
Yeah, 30. I think 30 would be fine too. I mean, I think Anthony Wilson, my boy, this morning said 30-20. I think that's a good score. But I don't think that Dak's going to score nothing. And I don't think the Eagles are scoring 40.
Shit, the Chiefs would have been a great game. The Rams would have been a great game.
I think the Lions would have been the best one.
Me too.
Yeah.
I got the Lions. That's the game
I wanted. We were deprived of Eagles-Lions last year, and they should have given us it.
I'll tell you what, if you wanted to even go Washington and the Eagles in week 1, a recap of the NFC title game, and you've got Jaden Daniels playing against Jalen Hurts, both guys healthy. But they wanted
Jaden Daniels is going to have a regression year.
I know you keep saying that.
I'm so sick of hearing everybody between you and John and everybody acting like this guy is 8 years of great play. He's played 1 good year of football. And by the way, you know what? Wait a second. You want to know the moment that I started saying this about Jaden? The moment that I said this fucking dude is going to have, and I really was trying to stop cursing. Dang it. But the moment that this guy, I said he was going to have a bad sophomore year. He's dancing like a cupcake in our end zone in the playoffs, down 3 touchdowns. Who the hell taught you to dance in the end zone down 3 touchdowns? I'm sorry, but that moment, I watched that, and I changed my thoughts on him maybe forever. He might never recover again, James Jones. Quarterbacks dancing in the end zone.
Remember what I said last year, James, after we had Herm Edwards on? I said that kid's going to win the Rookie of the Year award, and that kid's going to win the East. He didn't win everyone thought I was nuts that Washington would even be in the conversation of being a good team. They ended up winning north of 12 ball games and got to the NFC title for the first time in 25 years. That kid is special.
Look at that.
Yeah, hey.
If Hurts danced down 30, I'd want him deported. Exactly, Daz. I would keep that. If Jalen Hurts was dancing in the opponent's end zone in the playoffs, down by 3 tutties, I'd say, get that stiff off my football team.
Instead, he was dancing over at the Met Gala.
No, he wasn't. He was dancing with a Super Bowl trophy and an MVP in his hands.
And he was dancing in the Met Gala over there.
At least he had the trophy in his hands.
With all the crazy people over there, guys dressed like chicks and all that.
Again, at least he had the trophy.
Oh, I know. He looked good, though, in the dress. It looked good on him. Yeah, it looked good. All right, I got a couple more questions here for you, Junior. Nakobe Dean, he's not ready for the start of the season. Jahad Campbell, not ready for the start of the season. Means what to the start of the season for the Eagles?
Who's the first person you said before Jahad?
Nakobe. John doesn't think
Nakobe might, but we'll see. We'll see. It means nothing. What do you mean? We didn't have
wait a minute. I'm taking the #1 reporter for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm taking his word. And I heard him say he doesn't believe he's going to be ready for the start of the season. I'm just going by the #1 reporter for Eagle football right here on JAKIB Sports each and every single day with yours truly, Xander Krause. They're on Birds 365. All I'm doing is taking reports here. So I'm going to kind of go with the reporter, and he's not ready. What about him not being ready for the start of the season? How you feeling about that?
We got Trotter Jr., dude. We're in good shape.
Trotter Jr.
Yeah, we're in good shape. I'm not worried about that at all.
Trotter Jr., you think takes the role of Oren Burks?
Yeah. Yeah, I got nowhere. I got zero. If you're gonna rank my worries coming into the game, the second linebacker for the Cowboys.
I think the linebacker play was one of the most significant things that helped that #1 defense a year ago.
I agree with that. But you got one game here. I mean, they wait a second.
So
did we survive after Nakobe Dean went down last year?
Because you had Oren Burks. Okay. So
was it because of Oren? Wait a second. Let me finish. Was it because of Oren Burks, who was a total, complete, and utter trash can in the Super Bowl the year before, where Patrick Mahomes looked at him and picked him apart? Or was it the defense that Vic Fangio put him in that allowed him to succeed and be successful?
I think the experience of getting killed in that Kansas City game helped that player in that Super Bowl game to get his vengeance versus Kansas City. And I think all the things that they did in that Super Bowl against him the year previous, he took it out on the next Super Bowl, and it was a night and day game for him.
I agree with that. I was genuinely asking the question, though, because the player did struggle mightily the year before. Now, I'm not taking a credit away. I do think the player played very well, but Vic Fangio created a defense last year that Nolan Smith thrived, Cooper DeJean thrived, Quinyon Mitchell thrived, both the safeties thrived, all of our cornerbacks thrived, Isaiah Rodgers thrived, Oren Burks thrived off the bench, Jalix Hunter, everybody thrived. Okay, why? Is that because we hit on every player, or Vic put them in the right position? Again, I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of moving parts, but I'm not going to sit here and worry too much about that, because I do think Vic is going to be able to get the most out of each individual player and put them in a position to succeed. Let me ask you this. Would you think Cooper DeJean would have been as successful somewhere else last year in a different type of defense? He might be good enough.
Rams, Minnesota, Baltimore, but to places like that, I think he would have. But that, again, probably 5% to 10% of the teams in the league, he would have had the same type of year. I'll tell you this. If he's on any of those other teams, he's probably the defensive rookie of the year.
Well, I think what hurt him in that regard was honestly those.
The missing of the 4 games. That's right.
I think that hurt him because, I mean, it's funny though. The Rams and the Eagles, the top 4 rookie defense player of the years. It was Rams, Eagles, Rams, Eagles. I mean, both of them drafted. Both teams are top of the pack when it comes to GMs.
Do you think if he plays all 4 of those opening games, do you think that he wins the rookie of the year? I do.
Well, it depends because I do think there's some BS in those awards where you have to show up statistically. So Cooper, as good as he was, it wasn't a stat position until the Super Bowl when he got to pick 6. So I don't know if he would have won Rookie of the Year versus Verse, who had, I don't know, how many sacks did Jared Verse have last year? I don't know if you overcome that with voters. I mean, you know how it is. Sometimes those awards are, they're stat driven. So I'm not worried about that. But to the point, though, of what I'm saying, I hear you. I hear you bringing up the concern, but I just feel like Vic is going to put these guys in the right position, man. You got Bond coming back. You still got Carter and Davis up front. You're going to have Nolan on the edge. You're going to have Reed Blankenship behind you. You're going to have Quinion and Coop still. I feel like if that linebacker can't come in and be viable, then move on to the next dude because he ain't good enough.
So, and let me read this right here. For you, you believe that Vic is going to put the players that are on this roster, because in your eyes, you see almost the same roster in the preseason of 24 and in the offseason of 24 as you do right now in 25. And your faith is in the fact that you think Vic is going to put all the new guys, just like he did a year ago, in the position to have the same type of success, maybe 5% more, maybe 5 to 10% less.
Yeah,
just depends, okay? You think he's going to get most and maximize out of the current roster right now as he did a year ago. Is that right? No, I'm just trying to get it right here. I'm just trying to figure what you're saying.
I would say in very Big Sills fashion, you just sensationalized it beautifully. You sensationalized it perfectly. But no, I do feel, I mean, the other thing is, Sills, is I think Vic has had a big part in personnel, more so than any assistant coach I can remember. So, I'm trusting that he picked out some of these players that he has coming in, and I think they're all going to be fine, honestly. In fact, Dak might go triple interception week 1.
Oh, I think Dak's probably going to go 5 touchdowns and 475 yards. Why? He's thrown for 400 before on your ass.
Let's look up at what Dak Prescott did last year before the injury. Let's check it out. Let's just go. All right, what's Dak's
Let's just check it out what Dak has done versus Dallas or Eagles.
64% completions, 11 touchdowns, and 8 picks.
That ain't the Eagles. Here, this is what Dak has done versus the Eagles in his 13 games that he's played. 24-39, 270, 29-44, 374, 27-35, 347. 21-27, 295, 21-26, 238, 25-44, 265, 21-27.
Wait, I got a better stat line. Take your stats.
Here's another one. 42 of 54, 77.8 completion percentage.
Wait a second. Take your stats and shove it. Ready? Dak Prescott last year versus the Detroit Lions. They lost 47-9. He was 17 of 33 for $178, 0 touchdowns and 2 picks. This guy stinks when you have a good defense.
Here's what Dak. Here's 42 of 54, 77.8 versus the Eagles. 455 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. Holy,
that was in 2018, Sileo.
How about another? Well, here, I can go all the way down here.
That was 7 years ago.
Okay,
Listen to yourself.
I'll go to 23 here. Okay, 29 of 44, 374. I mean, come on, man. Dang. Hey, what about the tush push? How much do you think the tush push, if it is outlawed, and I think it will be outlawed at the end of the month here, how much you think it has an impact on the Eagles football team moving forward?
Probably not much. I mean, I think more than John now. John's like, oh, they're going to be a 100% perfect. They'll be better without the tush push. I'm like, really? Then why were they running the tush push?
Don't you think that's an identity play?
I think it's an identity play. I think it's a a play that allows your offense to play differently because you're starting 1st and 9 on every possession. So if you don't have that type of confidence in the quarterback sneak, which by the way, I do think they're going to be good at it, but it's a different type of play. You're not going to go for it on every 4th and 1 if you don't have the tush push, in my opinion. You might go for the right ones. You might go in the right circumstances or the right instances or when the game calls for it. But I think it changes up a little bit. Like John's like, oh, they're going to be better. I'm like, well, why were they running a tush push then? So I don't really agree with that, but I don't think it's a huge thing. I don't think it's going to be huge.
I think that's why they're going fullback. It's because they know this thing's getting outlawed.
Shady brings up a good point here. You know who might be praying for the tush push to get outlawed? Freaking Saquon.
You know what, though?
How many touchdowns last year did Jalen get that could have been Saquon?
Yeah, but wait a minute here. I mean, if I'm the running back, I had the ball 400 times in my hand. Do I want to get in traffic in there and I want to take a shot at getting banged up? Let the quarterback go in there and do that. I mean, if now that I have to take more of an injury risk at getting my butt in there. By the way, I don't want either guy injured.
Wait. You were talking about him trying to get to Canton, though. Imagine if he had an extra 10 tutties last year.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That would have been like insane.
That would have been one of the greatest running back seasons, and already was. But it would have solidified itself. So
would he have been over 20? If he had 10 more touchdowns, would he have been over 20 touchdowns?
I know he had more than 10 last year. Let's check.
Wow, man, if you had a 22
13 touchdowns, yeah, so let's give him another 7. He would have got to 20.
So if he had 20 touchdowns and 2005 rushing yards, and then the yards he put up in the postseason, boy, I'll tell you, man. Then you follow it up this year with a 1,700-yard rushing season and say 15 touchdowns. You know, that's $4,000 almost, Xander, in 2 years of running the ball. I mean, you're going to make some noise, in my opinion. Okay, I mean, you are here. All right, one last one here for you before we do the supers. By the way, we will read your supers. Please hit the like button here.
We got some good supers, I think, today. I saw them coming in. Appreciate everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend.
Okay. Where's your boy? When are you going to address the Sirianni problem?
I don't know. Who cares? Fuck does that have to do with me?
What are the Eagles going to address their Sirianni problem?
I don't know. Pay the guy. His contract's up, and he took you to 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. I don't really give a shit what anybody thinks of him. Pay him.
Pay him what? Again, I want to just
$20 million.
20.
What's the difference? Let me ask you something. What's the difference if Jeffrey Lurie shells out 17 or 20? What's the difference?
If I were a coach in this league and I saw Nick Sirianni make $20 million, I would be, thank you so much, God, because you really don't have to be very good at your job to get $20 million. Okay.
Okay, so you're delegitimizing Super Bowls everywhere, though.
No, what I'm saying, no,
yes, you are.
I'm de-emphasizing him.
Nick Sirianni went to 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. If you're saying that's
I saw George Seifert do that. So what?
So, that's what I'm saying. So you're delegitimizing. You think he's closer to Seifert than he is to
I do.
a good coach?
Yes,
I don't think that. And I think
I do.
And by the way,
your opinion is this: can you live without him and still be successful in Philly?
I think you could still be successful. Yeah, that's a different question, though. That's
think Kansas City will be successful without Andy, even with Mahomes?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't. But
there's certain coaches. Look, I'm not saying he's dog shit, but I'm saying this. But to me, a coach should do this. You think Denver can live without Sean Payton? I do.
I don't know. I don't know if Bo Nix could.
Yeah. Do you think the Rams are going to – how were the Rams before Sean McVay showed up?
Yeah, the Rams need McVay. I hear what you're saying. It's the same argument you'll make with Jalen, like you did last week. How many games would the Eagles win without Jalen? How many games would the
Hey,
Bills win without the freaking without
fact.
Allen? I get it. I get what you're saying, but you can't deny men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The guy is a winner.
When I look
He's a
at
goofy, but he's a winner, and I don't really care what my opinion is of him because it doesn't matter.
So what here? So when Bill Belichick calls it a career, it may be sooner than later because of what. Now, I want to hear something. I don't believe he's ever going to coach a game at North Carolina.
You might be right about that. Yeah, but here's the problem.
What's he known for? Defense.
Bill Belichick?
Defense.
Yeah, defense and Super Bowl.
Well, do you think there's any coincidence he coached Tom Brady and Lawrence Taylor? I mean, I don't know.
Well, can you use that? Like, that's the problem with the Nick conversation. I'm not saying you're wrong. He probably wouldn't be successful without this team, but would Bill Belichick have won a ring without Brady? I've seen no evidence.
Well, I've seen no evidence Bill Parcells would have won a Super Bowl without Belichick.
So my point, though, is that why are you taking it away from Nick if you're not going to take it away from Belichick or Parcells?
Would Bill have won a Super Bowl
without Brady? The dude was a stiff whenever Brady wasn't on his team.
Okay, well, here then. Would Walsh have won a Super Bowl without Montana? No. Would name me one of the greats.
You don't criticize Walsh for that. Or you don't
hold Walsh that against Walsh. Because Walsh was a play caller.
So the only thing you care about is play calling?
No, the fact that he drafted, ran the organization, he drafted the players.
Well, there's no doubt that Nick's in a different era and a different team with a different setup, for sure. I agree with that. I mean, he is. Those coaches did more.
How much influence do you think he has on the team? Influence like who to hire, who not to hire, who to draft, who to cut.
Very little. Very little. I think he has a lot of influence on the players and the team and the camaraderie of the team and the way they play. I don't think he has any influence on the front office, and that's why they like him. I think Vic Fangio's had more influence on Howie when it comes to drafting than Nick has had. Vic's been here for 1 year.
Let's ask this question. Is that important any longer in today's NFL?
It might not be. I mean,
you have to have, like, let me be fair.
Well, here. I don't know, because who's the last NFC champion outside of the Eagles? Was it the Rams?
NFC.
Play calling head coach. Andy's the play calling head coach. Who else has won Super Bowls recently?
Yeah, but how much influence do you really think that Sean McVay has on hiring or drafting Jared Verse at MSU?
He doesn't have any impact on that. He also has a great GM. I mean, I put Howie and Les Snead.
Kevin Demoff are great.
Yeah, Les Snead's incredible. So it's a tough comp, though, because McVay does have more say on that offense. He invented that offense.
Correct. And before there, when you had some stiff coaches in the building in there, here, let's do this with the Bucs. Since I was talking some Bucs football, you know, the last two offensive coordinators had only been in the building 1 year. They had never been play callers in their entire life. And that guy, Dave Canales, turned out to be the head coach of Carolina. And also now Liam Cohen is now the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had never been a play calling type guy in the history of their careers. So when Kevin Patullo takes this over here, I think there's a lot of stress on this guy, man, because if that team fumbles along and that defense can't get the 3 and outs and they're not in good field position, and that team is not the key to me for the Eagles' success this year, it's not the offense, dude. It's how that defense looks early. Yeah. Because last year, the defense was okay early, wasn't great.
They weren't good early.
Like the Green Bay game, we thought they gave yardage up.
They did. Right? The first 4 weeks weren't great with that defense, so I'm not jumping one way or the other after week 1. I mean, there's no way.
That's right. That's one thing we're going to have to be patient on. That's one thing I'll be patient on is the first 4 weeks of the season when the no-holes cheeseburger defense. Let's see what happens there.
Big Sills ain't going to be patient on shit. You already got us out the pasture.
No, I don't. You're going to destroy the Cowboys in the.
No, you're like Jaden Daniels dancing in the end zone down 20 right now.
No, I'm like everyone else saying Jaden Daniels is probably the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
In the NFL?
CBS said
What kind
that.
of drugs are you on?
Hey, I didn't say that. CBS said
Josh
that.
Allen's the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Dude,
that's who I would take. I would take Josh Allen ahead of anybody.
They had Jaden Daniels CBS. I had him like 5th or 6th. I don't know. I'm not putting them up there like that. Let's get to these supers, my friend.
Big silly. Fly Eagles checking in. What's up? I don't think our cornerback 2 is on the roster yet.
Are you thinking they're getting Ramsey? You could smoke some more hash, kid. That ain't working. Okay. They're not getting Jalen.
They're not getting Ramsey. He is not a fit, but maybe somebody. I don't think it's out of the equation. Jason A-Team checking in. What up, A-Team? He says Axeman 2 is the fallback option over Dean and whoever else. JAKIB is king. Jahan Dotson starts the season elite and gets traded. Look at this. A-Team's predicting the whole season. This guy's on fire.
What are you trading him for? A bag of bananas? What are we doing here, man? Have you seen that baseball team, the Savannah Bananas or whatever it is?
Yeah,
they had 75,000 fans. I thought it was a gimmick.
Holy crap, 75K?
75K.
Were tickets free? Tickets must have been free.
Bro, the whole place was packed. There's sellouts everywhere. That's what John Morgan wants the Rays to do. He wants to turn the Rays into that. I was like, okay.
JD3 checking in. What's up, brother? Another day in the Big Dom dynasty, starting off beating the Cowboys 30-0 to remind them we've been relevant for 30 years and them 0.
Oh my God.
Don't tell Big Silly that.
I love Eagle fans. Eagle fans, you know what you are? You're as delusional as the Cowboy fans are, but you know the difference?
We're actually good.
You win.
Yeah. So that means we're not delusional.
You are delusional to think that.
No, we're not, because we win.
Josh Sweat's a bum. Milton Williams is a bum. CJ's a bum. Slay's
Nobody said that.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I said we can survive without them.
I don't know. I'm going to be fine without them. You're the number one defense.
If you lined up every edge rusher,
hey, we'll be fine with
every edge.
We'll be fine with Caitlin Ringo. We'll be okay.
If you did a fantasy draft of edge rushers in the NFL, you wouldn't even take Josh Sweat in your top 30.
If I had to do now an Eagle, or wait a minute, if I had to do an NFL edge rushing, the Eagles wouldn't have a guy in the top 30. Think of that. You wouldn't have a guy in the top 30.
Josh Sweat wouldn't be taken either. But we got to get through these. We got Cobb in here. Big Marshall says, Cooper had Lamb crying last year. He couldn't see. I remember. That's going to be a good matchup, actually, because CeeDee Lamb lines up in the slot a lot. So you got Cooper DeJean presumably playing the slot. That should be good.
I agree with you, not John. I think that's going to be more of a matchup in there because there's more traffic in the middle, and Cooper's in the middle of that zone.
I mean, I don't know what John was saying. He's not going to. CeeDee Lamb's one of the best targets in football. The guy had 150 catches.
He makes his living in the middle of the zone. He doesn't make it on the numbers.
Right where Cooper's going to be. Big Marsh again. Yo, Marsh, thank you for all the support today, brother. Coop had Lamb crying last year about he could see. I remember. It's the same thing. Got you, brother. Big Marshall. The funniest thing ever would be if Ringo gets a pick 6.
Ringo's not even starting right now.
We'll be holding Silio's feet to the fire if he does.
Caitlin Ringo, really? That's where we're going here over Darius Slay.
Healy Elite Ringo. Yeah. Big Marshall says scrimmage game week 1 for the Eagles. I'm not going that far. Eagle Talk Baby says, my pops is a Bills fan. Him and I are going to the Bills-Eagles game in Buffalo. That's a bucket list for me. I'd like to go to a game in Buffalo.
Oh, God. Is it unbelievable up
there? Buffalo and Lambeau and Arrowhead are the 3 stadiums I really want to go to.
And you know what? This is the last one at old. Gary and I played in this one. This one is old Ralph Wilson. They're getting a brand new one. And one of the things about, if you ever notice, and I bet Gary did too, the old AFC stadiums, like where Denver played, Xander, or like where Kansas City is, you are so close to the sidelines in those old AFC stadiums. Now, it's funny, they make it further away from the fans and the players. But those old AFC stadiums, bro, holy cow, you were right on top. Like, You were right on top of one another. Kansas
Yeah,
City is one of the funnest places I've ever played a game.
I believe it. Marshall says, we don't want TV ratings. We want Super Bowl trophies. That's the difference. We play to win the game.
Yeah,
you're
but
right.
here,
Jerry doesn't
Marshall,
care about
once
that.
again, this game wasn't picked for you, my friend, being a true hardcore Eagle. This was picked because the NFL owners are paid on TV money. They're not paid on your passion.
Well, the Eagles are still a part of that, but you're right. The Cowboys bring the ratings. There's no doubt. Prince Swayze says Tyler Booker, referred to by Cowgirls fans as the Jalen Carter stopper, had his worst games against them, allowing 3 sacks. Tyler Booker, I'm a Bama guy. I like him, but I'm not sure on him yet.
Come on, man. I mean,
12 overall, I'm not sure. One more.
Gary Cobb would say this: fly protection, be looking for it because they can't stop a sniffle.
I think we got all of them. This one was Rodgers was the starter in Indy in 21. I think he was bashing with you with your earlier take.
It's not true. He did not. He started 10 games and 45 games.
Pumper says the Sidney and Keeley slander is preposterous and uncomfortable, yet we tooting the horn of Jerry Jones, meat checking dudes at the comp. I will agree with you on that, Pumper. Jerry's a weird guy. Siglord, our goal should be to make Pickens crash out week 1. He might crash out in training camp, Sig. We might not have to worry about that, brother. All right, so it's a great show, brother. I'll catch you tomorrow, my friend.
You got it. Don't forget, Angelo Cataldi will be with us at 5:30. Make sure you catch out our boy, Xander Krause. Dallas Cowboys. You see, delusional fan bases. Eagle fans are delusional in this. As soon as a guy, I love this part of it. As soon as a guy like Isaiah Rodgers or Josh Sweat or Milton Williams is no longer an Eagle, guy sucked. Easily replaced. Who are you kidding? That guy played here. You're welcome. Don't kick the door in the ass on the way out. It's all good. Get out. All right. That's how Eagle. Now you guys win. Cowboy fans, they think they win. Okay? But boy, as soon as you don't play for the Philadelphia Eagles anymore, that guy sucked. Gardner Johnson's a turd. I mean, let me get a little help here. Guy's been in this market forever. September 4th, they will drop the banner. I wanted to see the Lions game, but that's okay. So let's bring in our guy from Fox 29, JAKIB, and get his takeaways on the first game of the year. It's been announced. It's September 4th. It is the Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles as they will drop banner number 2. So says what, Gary Cobb? What do you make of the opener?
Well, they're going for the numbers. Getting that national audience, getting a lot of people excited. It'll be fun. It will be a lot of fun because, they do have a rivalry. And amazingly, in the NFC East, for whatever reason, they don't have teams that repeat as champions. I mean, this is going on a long time. And I know the Cowboys are going to be sitting there as underdogs, and they want people to take them for granted. And they want to come in here and shock the house. They love to do that in front of the nation. Man, would they love anything better than coming in, starting out their season? And I could see in Dak's voice when he was talking, and he's seeing how people are, just treating them like they're trash, in that he would love nothing better to come in and beat the Eagles in their house in front of the nation to start out the season. I mean, they would love that. Oh, man. And to put together a great game. And the other thing is he is, Pickens adds another weapon. CD Lamb, you're talking about him and everything. And they know they got to carry the weight for this team, that they don't have the dominant running game that they had years ago. So it's going to be fun, and I think that the Cowboys look at it as if it's going to be fun, man. Fun time to see who stands up.
Dak's 9-4 versus the Philadelphia Eagles. He's like 33-8 against the NFC East himself. Mm-hmm. Last 5 games that he started, he's 5-1. What do you make of that? Again, and I get when people start talking about Dak and they say postseason this, I get it. I'm talking about the September 4th and the 2 matchups. he has success against this team. I mean,
Yes,
what do you make? Gary? I'm not sure I've ever heard your takeaway. You've played against some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. When you see Dak, what do you look at him, and what do you see with him when you look at Dak Prescott's career?
Well, I see a guy has been a great regular season quarterback. I mean, if you just judge him by that, he would get a lot more respect from a lot of people if they just looked at what he's done, because he's had some outstanding seasons, and it hasn't been where he is riding the coattails of somebody else. He's been the main weapon in the Cowboys offense. So in those years, and he's been able to carry the team on his arm, meaning, he hasn't had a great running game there to duck behind. He's had to pretty much carry it, and he's shown that he can run the offense where he takes care of the football, where he's productive, and where he wins games. And he's shown he's done that. And they really, he's played very well against the rest of the NFC East. I mean, consistently. And against the Eagles, he's played very well. So I've seen it, that he's made plays with games on the line. For some reason, I guess mentally, whatever it is, he hasn't played as well in the playoffs, and that's really the thing that has hurt them, because he has been the core of the offense. Like I said, hasn't been where he got, like Saquon last year, just carrying the team into the playoffs. He hasn't had that type of running game. He's been where he's had to take care of the ball. And when you really, as a quarterback, when you are the core of the team, of the core of the attack, you got to be able to take care of the ball, know when to take chances, be accurate with the throws, know when to get rid of the football, just have a feel for the entire game. And I think that that Dak Prescott probably is underrated. He hasn't gotten the credit I think that he deserves, because he's been the core of their offense and the reason they've had success. And unfortunately, he hasn't been able to carry them, to the Super Bowl. But he has been the core of their offense. He's, like I said, he hasn't had a running game to really hide behind at all.
Well, let me put this out here, and let's play a little bit of a game here. If Dak was on the Eagle roster right now, in your opinion, you think he'd win a Super Bowl with that offense?
I think he'd have a good shot. With that offensive line? Yeah, I think so, because they would have.
And the way he throws the ball?
The way he throws the ball. He's
a better, will we not agree he's a better passer than Hurts?
I think as an all-around passer, yes. I think the thing that that Jalen has, of course, is his legs. I mean, Jalen, you saw in the Super Bowl. I think a lot of people, take it for granted. Those runs Jalen had, they cut Kansas City's heart out of their gut.
Absolutely.
I mean, they just he with those runs, he just basically put it. That was the end of the Chiefs, because they were coming after him, and all of a sudden he takes off for 20, 30 yards. 2 times he did it to him, and he's done it a lot. He's made key runs at key points in the red zone. So you know how effective he is in the red zone, and where he can take off, and he has a feel for the game, where he knows when to take off and utilize his legs. And that's where Jalen, you got to bring his legs in to really talk about him all the way.
It's a great point that you're making, but like I said, because Dak did lead the NFL in passing, 37 TDs, 9 picks, 4,800 passing yards. It's a completely, like you said, but it's a completely different.
I mean, you got to give him credit for that, because I don't think, and that's why you hear some people go off on him. They don't give the guy credit for what he did do, in that he has had this team and had them there at the doorstep. They just haven't been able to go in,
Did you take anything away from rookie camp? Anything? I mean, Gary, here's what I heard, and I posted a video. Somebody said this, and I know you're going to laugh. Hey, the best quarterback in Browns camp right now is Shedeur Sanders. And I went, so you determined that in helmets and shorts with no veterans on the field and no contact, he has never played in an exhibition game, let alone in a scrimmage, and you're making a comment that Shedeur is the best quarterback in the camp. based off of rookie camp. So I have to go to the pro here, yourself, who's been in the media longer than me and played longer. Gary, did you take anything away from Eagle rookie camp? Anything?
Well, you don't take it that seriously. No, I mean, come on. You know they're in there trying to get these guys ready so they can practice with the rest of the team. That's what they're basically doing. They're getting them ready so they know the drill. They know what they're trying to do. And I thought that one thing just
great shake.
Yeah. One thing I will give the Eagles credit that I really like is they start out the practice going after forcing turnovers with the defense, knocking the ball out, causing fumbles. Rather, figure they're going to start off with a tackling drill. No, they're not a tackling drill. They start off with a knocking the ball out of the guy's hands. They're doing all these things, going after turnovers. And when you really think about it, how important are turnovers? I mean, turnovers are, man, they are very important. And the Eagles' defense, and we saw this last year, is they force turnovers. And I saw them doing that. I'm going like, I've never seen a team do that like that. But they practice forcing turnovers. Yep.
Nakobe Dean and Jahad Campbell.
Yeah.
John McMullen said that those two guys probably aren't going to be ready for the start of the season. How concerning is that to you?
I don't think it's as long as they're going to be back relatively soon. I think from what we saw from Fangio last year, the guy does a tremendous job of pulling things together and working with the team as the season goes along. What he did last year and what their coaches did, because it's not just him. The coaching staff, they have a tremendous group of coaches there. I was surprised more of them didn't get
the defensive guys too. Nope, like Clint Hurt, the linebacker Bobby King coach, the DB coach. I'm surprised none of them really got a ton of. Gary, they did a tremendous job. Did them playing so late, like in the February, maybe play a factor in there where those guys weren't considered? I mean, not even Vic Fangio got even like a couple calls, just some mentions or anything like that. I mean, were you shocked with that?
I was surprised. I think with Fangio, he's made it pretty much known that he's comfortable being the defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
he loves being in Philly, where he's from. He really is not interested in head coaching opportunities. So he's pretty much made that clear. Now his assistants, they did a tremendous job last year.
Yeah,
they developed all these players during the season. And that's why I'm comfortable with they're going to be fine because they do a great job of teaching these guys. And if they do anywhere near as good a job last year as they do this year, I mean, if they repeat that, I don't think there's any problem because they really developed players right during the season, where they were ready to make big plays in the playoffs against the best teams in the league. So,
Gary, a couple more here for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a prediction to you.
Okay.
You tell me if I'm on crack or you tell me if I'm in the room here.
Okay.
By week 10, Nick Sirianni will take over the play calling.
No, I don't. I know he'll try not to do that. I hope it doesn't get to that. You know what? And I really don't think it's going to get to that because I think Jalen's going to do a good job of probably being more forceful about what he wants from the offensive coordinator. And I think they'll be communicating. And with the fact that Jalen has gone all the way and won the Super Bowl and everything, I think he'll be the kind that'll let the offensive coordinator know, look, this is what we should be doing. This is what I feel good about. So it'll make the offensive coordinator's job a lot easier this time around than maybe in the past.
Well, help me out here then.
Yeah.
When does this offense become Jalen Hurts' offense? Because what I'm saying is that 2021 was different, 22 was different, 23 is different.
Yeah.
24 was a lot lesser, and it was different. Every year with all these different coordinators were all the identities, not of him, but of those coordinators. When you look at when I look at the LA Rams, or I
Yeah.
look at Kansas City, or I look at some of these other teams,
Yeah.
that's the quarterback, man. I mean, it's the quarterback's offense. When does it become where the coordinator is not really the main conversation any longer? When is it his offense?
I think that, this run, running the ball, and you see Jalen that most of the time he's running the play. A lot of times he's able to take that ball out of Saquon's arms and take off with it himself. He's got that option. A lot of times they're running a lot of option plays, and and you can see that he's deciding to put that ball in Saquon's arms. So in a lot of ways, he's having an effect upon, even though it's not a passing play, you got Jalen's pretty much calling the play. See, he's deciding on who's getting the ball. So and the running part, the running part is a big part of of Jalen's game. Like there are a lot of quarterbacks who they don't want to run the ball. They want to throw the ball. Jalen likes to run the ball. So I think that's a part of his game that you can't take for granted because it's a big key to the Eagles' offense.
Let me tell you something. When Gary Cobb was running for office, look at the poise that he's showing you right now as a granddad, as a father, as a husband.
Okay.
Does it with a smile. I got to tell you, that right there, my friends, is how you keep your poise. And I need to take notes here. I got one last one for you.
Okay.
You see how he keeps his poise? Me, I'm screaming at people. All right. Hey, all right. Tush push may be taken away next week.
I think it probably is.
Probably so. Has any impact on the offense whatsoever?
I think initially maybe, but in the long term, I don't think it will. I think they'll get comfortable. And in fact, if anything, I think Saquon's going to take this as a challenge. I think the offensive line will take it as a challenge, and that they will get to the point to where they're handing the ball to Saquon is just as good, And I think they're maybe initially sometimes they'll take a while to get into the groove, but I think before the season's over, you're going to have a team that's just as effective with those regular plays that they run, and then remember, and this is going to be a key. Jalen's legs again, that they're going to utilize him to where sometimes he's handing that ball to Saquon, sometimes he's keeping it. He'll be running some bootlegs and things and doing all kind of different things where, especially in short yardage, a running quarterback is very effective because, like I said, bootlegs, options, it really puts a lot of pressure on those guys on the corner in the defense because they can't just come in there and be sure that they're just going to run it inside. You got that option outside, and then you got options where he can throw the ball too because, Dallas Goedert, of course, is going to be back and everything. So all those options are going to be involved. And I think before the season's over, they'll be showing all of that and be able to make up for the lack of the tush push, which I think that they're probably going to try to take out.
Gary, that was a true statement, wasn't it, about the old AFL stadiums? That, dude, you went to Denver, man. That thing was right. I mean, the back of the wall was right there on you.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
yeah,
Arrowhead too. I mean,
like
what's his name? Ralph Wilson Stadium. When you go up there to Buffalo, man, those
that's true.
Are right on top of you. If there was one game you wanted to, I wanted to see the Detroit game. Maybe the Rams, the Chiefs. The Cowboy game was just for TV. I wanted to see that Detroit team because that's the game we never got a chance to see.
That's true.
I wanted to see that Detroit team. You think Detroit's the team to beat outside of the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC?
Well, from what we saw last year, they were the ones that shined. They were the ones who, through quite a bit of the season, they were. You could definitely say that they were the best team in the conference. Through quite a bit of the season. But the key is going to be their defense. They had a lot of injuries last year. Offensively, they got a lot of explosive weapons and everything. But can they be consistent defensively where they can deal with some of the top offenses in the league? And that's what they got to prove. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. We're going to see. When do you think? I wonder when they're going to play the Eagles, the Lions. That's probably going to be a key factor when they play them in the season. The later, I think that the Eagles will getting better as the season goes along.
Let me ask you this, Gary. Do you think would you put Detroit and Philly on Thanksgiving?
Whew. Oh man. Well, Thanksgiving is a Detroit thing, man.
Detroit and the Cowboys are always on.
That's right.
Thanksgiving. So
that would be a nice.
It sounds to me like Detroit and Thanksgiving, doesn't it?
That would be a nice game. That'd be a great game right there to put the Eagles going up to Detroit for Thanksgiving. That'd be a big game, boy. I tell you have to circle that one. Because the Lions would be all excited about it because they don't think they really got a chance to have their best team out there with the season on the line, and we'll see. That would be great if they had that. That would be something. You're probably giving them an idea.
Boy, man, talk about ratings.
That'd be a great game. Boy, you better believe that everybody will be tuned in for that one.
Absolutely, Gary. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Have a great one.
All right, you too.
You got it. That is JAKIB. Make sure you check him out with Fox 29. The only thing would be, though, is, guys, is the Detroit game, is it an away game? Because I don't think they could switch that on the calendar now because they've got, like, the home and aways. Is that an away game? Because Kansas City would also, the Lions play home. It's a home game. The Eagles and the Lions are going to play on Turkey Day. I guarantee it. That's another prediction. Hold on. I got the other one. Kevin Patullo will be relieved of his play calling duties by week 10. And the Eagles and Lions will play on Thanksgiving. Christmas, Chiefs and Eagles. Oh, the Lions game is in Philly? Well, if that's the case, that won't be Turkey Day because Detroit hosts that game. I think that's how that works. I think both the Cowboys and the Lions. I think those teams those are home games that they do that for. Yeah. Kevin Patullo will be relieved of his play calling duties in week 10. Hey, after Washington beats them. Remind me of the dead Charlie Brown character. Of what's that? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Pizwa or Daz or whatever. Got you, kid. Okay. What does Shits 23 say? We're not playing on both holidays. Get a grip. Why not? I thought you were somebody. Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're the Jets. Week 10, Seals will be calling us a Super Bowl team. Doubt it. Sorry, dog. Not happening. You ain't going this year. Hey, FYI, Big Seals, it's no longer Ralph Wilson. It was changed a few years ago. Hey, how about this one? This just in. I don't care. Hey, what do you think? I'm going to call the new arena in Philly, not Wells Fargo, because they changed the advertisement? Hey, you're not paying me. I don't give a shit what. It's still Staples, downtown Los Angeles, where the Lakers play. It's still the Great Western Forum where they used to play. I don't give a shit. You're not paying me. Sills, it's something different now. You have to get your Well, no, I don't have to do anything. No, I don't have to do anything. The Jets will always have collateral damage insults. Why? I told you. Two most famous people in New York Jets history. Fireman Ed bangs his head with a hammer. and Joe Namath. Really nothing else. I mean, the Jets don't have anything else. Joe Namath, 1969. They're like the Mets. 69, 73, NL pennant. In 2086. That's the history of the Jets or the Mets. Hey, what's the history of the Mets? World Series title 69, 73 pennant, 86 champions, 2000. There's the history of the SNY network. Garbage time ownership. Seals, you making me hungry, stirring up the turkey day. How about a Washington and Lions? And the Birds visit the boys. Ooh. Yeah. You want to put Dallas on Turkey Day. I think the Eagles are playing on Turkey Day. That's how that's going to go, bro. Eagles on Turkey Day instead of Detroit, because if the Detroit game is in Philly, can't play that. So they got to play the Cowboys. They're going to play the Cowboys on Turkey Day. Yeah. Bro, been shadow boxing. Your takes are freaking awful, as always. Awful. Awful. God. And then, Kevin Patullo. What do you guys make of my Kevin Patullo prediction? Week 10, he'll be replaced as play caller by Nick Sirianni. Hey, you make it $25 million a year. Why would you have a problem with him taking over play calling? Look at this guy arguing back at me like a girl. No, it was you. Holy cow. Hey, dude, I bet you grabbed yourself when you just said that. That's you. This guy. I'm getting ripped like you're getting ripped, you loaf. I don't know. Very uncomfortable. Oh, man. I'm no wonder M. Reyes has a big convo on Tush Push. Hey, M. Reyes has got a whole different definition of Tush Push. He's got a different one than me. Me, I think the play will be outlawed. Him, he's fighting for it. Oh. M. Reyes, the king of the Tush Push. Who battled for it the most? M. Reyes. You should have saw him. This guy was on all fours. He was pushing for the Tush Push. Oh, my God. Oh, man. M. Reyes, the champion of the Tush Push. You're the one, you big loaf. I can't remember. I was called quite a few things this past weekend. Yeah. Oh, by the way, you should have seen my efforts this past weekend at the beach. I was completely pathetic. Some reason I heard in my ear, you did nothing. Let's see. How far do you think? What are you doing? Shit like that. It was crazy. That was useless. I ate a lot, but it was useless. Yeah. There's the king of the Tush Push. Angelo Cataldi will be with us at 5:30 Eastern. There he is. The king of the Tush Push. M. Reyes. You big loaf. Loaf is lame. I got to be civil with Sills. Really? I won't be with you. Hey, M. Reyes, I got a loaf for you. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. Some of the shit he says, I just don't really need to read all of it anyway. It doesn't make sense. And like you, Crowley, you're probably 17th on the all-time wins list when it comes to having great takes here on this show. So you're at the bottom of the barrel. You're probably lower 4. You're one of the lower 4 guys. You got you have awful. Here are the guys that have absolutely pathetic takes. Right there. This guy. This guy. This guy. Let's see who else. 50-50 on this guy. Steve, 50-50 too. This guy's not bad. Okay? This guy's not bad either. This guy here, again, I don't know. Him, I don't know. So I heard a couple times she called me an MF for a couple times. That's okay. That was my wife. So I don't take offense to that. She's here every day. Then again, so is my wife. Her takes are, I don't know. She's probably hitting at about a 41% clip of success. So that would mean she's, I don't know. I might be giving her too much credit. 41% success rate at her takes. She's not bad. For a chick, she's awesome. But for this is how we gauge people normally, just as sports guys. She's probably 40% hit rate when it comes to her half-ass decent takes. Yeah, I would say this about Sue. She's a half-ass. She's half-ass. Some of, a little less. Yeah, so, I mean, she's not that great. I guess that's where I'm going. When the Eagles are 10-0, she's going to be the biggest backpedaler on YouTube. I own everything, Space Cadet. Okay? Hey, Space Cadet, I own it. Always remember that. Backtrack for what? This isn't I'm not under oath. Better half-assed than legs attached to my back. It's a great take. There's some really good, smart people here every day. Oh. This guy's from Maryland. There's no way he's from Philly. Hey, Xander, Forest Hill is from Maryland. That guy's not from Philly. There's some really good, smart people here every day. This guy's from Maryland. The guy's not from Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, or PA or Philly. Not a chance. Forrest, there's some really smart people in here every day, Sileo. Okay. Oh man, Jake Tapper would want you on his show. Seals, you going to be at the Eagles Super Bowl champions ring ceremony? Hell no. I love this shit. I know you do, Princess. Sue, starting to tell me a little bit about yourself. She likes people talking dirty to her. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she. Yeah. Sills, the backstroke king. I don't backstroke anything. I give people respect when they deserve it. Okay? Seriously, I give people respect. Hey, Tweenie, I do, you know those like little weenie dogs? That's what Twiz is. I'm going to start calling him Weenie. Hey, Weenie, let me hook you up here. I give people credit when credit is earned. Okay, Weenie? What's your new name? Weenie. Twiz the Weenie. Oh, man. Nakobe Dean may not be ready. Get this. Watch this. Look at this guy. How many people flip-flopped on Jalen Hurts when they predicted he'd throw for 4,500 yards? Dash, 30 touchdowns. What happened? What happened, ding dong? This guy threw for as many touchdowns as the Army quarterback. Too easy. Here, look. See every time somebody says this? So now this guy will go home and clip this. And here's what it'll look like in his bed tonight. Oh, repeat. Rewatch. Is this true? Boys in Philly, Thursday, 9-4, start of the 25 season. Yes, it is. If so, I'm pissed. I'm so sick and tired of these games NFL is forcing us to pay for. Oh, really? Another app to watch? Oh, no, this. Are you, hey, what are you, AT, are you telling me it's going to be on a stream? Oh, that would suck. Is it going to be on a stream? It's got to be Thursday Night Ball. No. Art of War. There's a chapter in it. Big Sills, the commander. All right. Don't forget, folks, our great friends at Morgan & Morgan. Hey, and in this hour coming up, we're going to be talking to our great friend Angelo Cataldi. That'll be at 5:30. Legend will be joining us. By the way, Boomer is going to be joining us this week. He's going to find some time. He apologized for last week, so we'll get him on here with us. But don't forget, our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, who sponsor the program here. And again, you see their advertisements everywhere. The great thing that John says is that I don't need to advertise anywhere because I'm everywhere. But he chooses to be here with you guys. Why? Because we're kind of a people show here. And this is exactly what we do here, just like them. They've got a track record that's second to none. Over $30 billion recovered. And that's what makes them the number one injury law firm in America, is because they win. Told you about the family in Pennsylvania. Initially, an insurance company came in, only wanted to offer $650K. They got $30 million for that family. Family down in Florida, they were initially offered $350K. They got $12 million for that family. If you're ever injured, please do me a favor and check out my friends at forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
They're carving them up and good play calling along the way. First and goal at the 6.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Sales, please hit the like button. Angelo Cataldi will join us at the bottom of the hour, 5:30 Eastern time. I see that Chris Berman just got a contract extension. I've always liked Chris. You know, I mean, I'll tell you what, he brought something to the home run derby, the back, and all that. I mean, it's been absolutely brutal since, and as a matter of fact, I was one of the guys complaining about it. And when he left, the home run derby became boring again. So I never had a problem. I thought his NFL stuff was great. I thought him hosting on Sports Center was awesome. They're going to make him the first 50-year guy in broadcasting in ESPN history. So I think that's why it's going through the 2027 Super Bowl. That's probably when he's going to call it a career, but he was a Brown graduate. I actually got a chance to know him pretty well. My wife used to book him on my show all the time. We may try to do that again. Yeah, but my guys, I grew up in a different era. I grew up in his kind of era in a way. I'm more of a Cosell and Brent Musburger, those kind of guys. I thought those guys were really great. I mean, do I think that Chris Berman is better than Brent Musburger? Absolutely not. Musburger was way more versatile, was a newspaper guy, hosted shows, called basketball and football games. I mean, he called everything. So, you know what? I tell you what, I'm very fortunate. I don't know how we do, Prince. I really don't. I mean, it's funny. Dander was even saying, you're talking about a guy who was in front of the Pope. I mean, I get it. I don't know. It's been very interesting. I've wrestled. Many of my friends are now general managers or work in organizations now or coaches. People in the media we know. There's certain people in the media we do love. We love Angelo, obviously. I like Howard Eskin too. So, I mean, hey, Big Sills, guess what? Elite. I love that. Berman, a highlight guy, right? Yeah, but, I mean, and Reyes, he also did Sports Center. All those guys were doing Sports Center. Oberman, I don't know what's happened to him. He's like falling off the back of a truck because that guy just says anything now. I mean, I don't mind you having political opinions like Clay Travis and those guys. That doesn't mean you have to. I mean, the people who tie in politics with their sports takes are ridiculous. I goof on it. Okay? I goof on it. I don't really Why? I don't care if you like my opinion on politics. That's why I don't really give them to you. Because nobody, I mean, who cares what you think? I like many of you that are in here because you come here to watch. We are entertained and we have a fun time going back and forth. We're building something great. Let's sit here and start talking about stupid politics. I don't give a shit about that. I really don't. I don't care what you believe in. That's not going to make me judge you as any other way. I don't, if somebody in here goes, Sills, I'm a Trump guy, I'd be like, I don't care. Sills, I'm a Biden guy. I don't care. I really don't care. Sills, you give us political views every day. What are you talking about? I try to make it funny. But at the end of the day, Prince, I don't give a shit if you believe what I'm saying or not when it comes to politics. You barely believe what I say about the Eagles anyway. So why would I care? Yeah, he does, Prince. He does. Really? I couldn't tell you what I said 2 minutes ago. This guy's telling me I give you political opinions. Okay? Here's Sue. Let's see if Sue can upgrade from going from mid class to like maybe a little bit elevated when it comes to her takes. We all have our political opinions. Just keep it out of sports, which should unite us. After that one, man, I got to do this to Sue. I got to put my hand over my heart. I'm ready to go. I'm going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Should I do the Pledge of Allegiance? Look at this guy. I'm not getting Ed Reed on now. Lost his number? No. Watch. Here's phone. Bang. Boom. Boom. Okay. Phone. Let's go to contacts. Hold on here. Contacts. Would you guys like to see my contacts? Okay. Let's see if you can't see it. You can't, can you? All right. So right there is Aeneas Williams. Hold on. Aeneas Williams, Adam Schefter, AJ Hawk. Let's go to the next ones. AJ Preller, general manager of the Padres. Al Bernstein, former boxing guy. Al Joyner, Jackie Joyner Kersey's husband. Al Leiter, former Major League Baseball pitcher. Al Oliver, three-time Albert Breer. Okay. Let's go to another one. There's Alfredo Roberts, tight end coach Steelers. Alicia Gwynn, Tony Gwynn's wife. Alan Pinkett, Notre Dame color analyst. Lonzo Highsmith, senior executive of the New England Patriots. Amy Trask. Andre Dawson, friend of ours, Hall of Famer. Let's see, Andrew Brandt. Andrew Friedman, general manager of the Dodgers. Andy Dalton. Andy Freed. Andy Green, former manager of the Padres. Andy North, sports talk guy. Let's see if we've got some more interesting ones. I could go down the list here. There. Let's see. Bill Berge, God rest his soul. There's Bill Cunnilingus. Bill Cower. Bill Goldberg. Bill Moss. Let's see where Ed Reed is. A, B, C, D, E. Let's go down here. E. I must have 7,000 names. Quit deflecting. Let's go to E's. Hold on here. Hold on. There's Ed Reed. Right there. Ed Ogeron, Ed Reed, Ed White, Eddie George, Ed McCaffrey. Shut up. No. Why you have P. Diddy's contact? No, I don't have P. Diddy's contact. I got your girlfriend's contact. P. Biggie. Where's T-Bone's number? Hey, did I miss a super chat, by the way? Yeah. Did I miss a super chat? I sure hope not. You guys have been great. Thank you so much. Angelo Cataldi is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Where's Ed Reed's number? Why do you have P. Diddy's? I don't have P. Diddy's contact. Here it is. Shut the F up. Where Ed Reed? And stop deflecting. Sorry, Twizwall. I just showed you, Ed. Come on, sweetie. Don't talk to me like that. You know better. Don't let me slap you on the ass. Where's Ed Reed? No, I'm not putting him on. Because Twins is a jackass. I'm not putting him on because you're a jerk. When you make me feel better, I'll put him on. Hey, Twins, make me feel better. Twins, make me feel better. Beg me. I'll put him on. Come on, Twins. Beg me. Please? Seals, your takes are the best. Always. You're so right about Jalen Hurts being a stiff. As a passer. Beg. Come on. You do one of those. Hey, Twiz, if you say that Jalen Hurts is a stiff, I'll put Ed Reed on. Pharrell the singer? Pharrell the talk show host with an F. Sounding real suspect? Lucius, you should see your post. You want to know what suspect is? Seriously, dog. There's no way in hell this guy doesn't own a pair of high heels. Yeah. Far as all things considered, it wasn't that bad. But like Jordan, it just took it personal. Well, you guys talk like really, I mean, this is like a tough group in here. Make you feel better. Someone please call 911. Oh, my God. All right. Let's do this here. Big Sills versus CBS. I think CBS hates the Eagles. I really do. I think CBS hates you guys. They rank the top teams in the NFC. And I don't know. They got you number one. But the way they wrote about you, suspect on defense. Here's who they had for the top 10 teams in the NFC. They got Philly 1. They've got Detroit 2. They've got Washington 3. They've got the Rams 4. These aren't that bad, I guess. They've got Green Bay 5. Tampa Bay 6. They've got the 49ers at 7. They've got Minnesota at 8. They got Chicago 9. And they got Atlanta 10. For me, I got Atlanta 10. I got Chicago 9. I got Minnesota 8. I got San Francisco 7. I got Green Bay 6. I've got Tampa Bay 5. I switched it up there. I've got Washington 4. They got the Rams 4. I got the Rams 3. They have Washington. I have Detroit 2, and I have Philly. Those are my top 10 teams that I think. Here, I would say this to you. Philadelphia, what's their record looking like it's going to be? Oh, I think you're probably an 11-6 team. Detroit, you're probably 12-5. Rams, 12-5. Wait a minute. I'll take that back on the Lions. I think the Lions are going to be 11-6 like the Eagles too. Washington, I think that's a 10-win team, 10-7. Tampa Bay, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win 12 games. You want to hear something crazy? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers just might win home field advantage this year. Why? Why do you think Tampa Bay? Why do you think Tampa Bay could win home field advantage this year? Why do you think? Any ideas? I'm actually picking, and I'll predict that the Bucs win home field advantage in the playoffs. Correct. Shady. The Bucs have the 3rd easiest schedule in pro football. Actually, they may have the number 1 weakest schedule in pro football. Let me take a look at that. That's what I'm basing it on. Not because they're better than you. They don't play anybody. Here, strength of schedule. Here we go. All 32 teams. Now, again, this will change because you're going based off of last year. So here, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life about this year's. So here's the teams that are going to turn around their seasons. Ready? Here are the teams that are going to turn around and have great years. The 49ers are going to win 10 games. They have the weakest schedule. The Saints may have a team where they can win 9-8 games. The Patriots have the 30th easiest schedule in the league. The Patriots are going to turn their fortunes around. They may actually win or come in second in the AFC East. The Titans will have a shot to turn that thing around. The Cardinals tied for 27th. The Bills have the 23rd easiest schedule in the league. How'd that work out? Here's the Bucs. The Bucs have the 16th hardest schedule, 481. I think the Buccaneers, of all these teams that I've seen so far, the Bucs are probably going to win 12 ball games. Now, here's the teams with the hardest. How in the world did the Giants get the hardest schedule in the NFL? I mean, the New York Giants have a team with they have a schedule almost a 600 win percentage. That Giants team will win 5 games tops this year. The Bears have the 2nd toughest schedule. I mean, they have the 2nd toughest schedule with all the acquisitions that they made. That Bears team may win only 8 ball games. The Lions have the 2nd hardest schedule. That's why I said down here, who do I think is going to win home field? Philadelphia has the 4th. Philly's going to win 11 ball games. And you'll be as good as last year. but you have more question marks. I mean, last year you didn't have the fourth toughest schedule in the league. Now you do. That doesn't mean you're not going to go further. Shit, you didn't win home field advantage. Washington upset Detroit. You were never going to host that game. Detroit, they dropped the ball. I mean, at the end of the year, let's not forget, you didn't win home field. 11-12, I said 11-6. I think because of the schedule. Here, check it out. I'll go down the list. So let me get this right. The Dallas Cowboys have the fifth toughest schedule, and they open against the Eagles. How many wins do you actually see for Dallas this year? Let's just pretend they upgraded. How many wins do you see Dallas who can't stop the run and run the ball? How many wins? Honestly, any opponents you're playing. I heard the guys this morning, and I heard that guy, Mike Gill. They're saying that this is a playoff team. A playoff team with the fifth toughest schedule and no run defense and no run offense and no O-line. You're going to win 10 games? Where? Where? Dude, if you had a crappy schedule like the Niners, yeah, okay. That's right, Sig. The Cowboys are a 7 to 9 win team, maybe. High end. High end is 9. 7 is where I think they're going to land. How are you saying the Cowboys are an 11-6 team when they have no O-line, no D-line, and no running back? And they play the fifth toughest schedule in the league. Who do you think's coaching them? Jimmy Johnson? What are you talking about? George Pickens doesn't move the needle on the fifth toughest schedule. It's crazy, man. Here, the Rams. Let's take a look at the Rams. Where do I see the Rams? Shit, the Rams could win home field. They're right there with the Bucs. That's a 12-win football team. Here, I'll tell you this. Bucs, Rams, only because of the schedule, not because they're better. Let's see where Washington is. Xander might be right. The Commanders have the 8th toughest schedule. Do I think they win north of 10 games? Man, I don't know. Now that I've seen where they are in their strength of schedule, do I think Washington can win 10 games? Well, they got 2 guaranteed wins with the Giants. They're going to beat the Cowboys, one of those. They'll beat Philly, one of those. So they'll probably end up with a good conference record. Here's another team. The Bills. Shit, dude. The Bills are going to win 13 games. The Bills are going to win home field advantage. They're my favorite to win home field. Here's why. They pretty much got the same team. They've upgraded on defense, and they got the 23rd hardest schedule. They're going to win 12, 13 ball games. Dolphins may win 10, 11 games. Seahawks are going to win a lot of games. The Texans are going to win a ton of games. I mean, Texans right here. Let's see here. Falcons are going to be improved. Angelo Cataldi's going to join us in a couple minutes here. Did you read T-Bone's last super? Throw it up there, Xander. My big concern this season, Sills, is our edges. Holding the line against the run, setting the edge. We are small at edge, pass rushing, defending the pass, no problem. What do you say? I would say this to you, my friend. One thing they did pretty good that I was pretty impressed with, the edge setting. They set the edge. Okay? They just didn't rush the passer as great. That's all you, in my opinion, that's all you need to have. You don't need massive edge rushers. Okay? I don't think you do. I think those guys are overrated. I'm not paying $40 million unless it's Myles Garrett out there. You know why? Eagles proved to me they won a Super Bowl without a double-digit sack guy. I'm going to get away from I am not sold that I'm paying that position. I'll pay interior tackles, I'll pay a linebacker, and I'll pay a corner. To pay an edge rusher, I mean, you paid an edge rusher, you got him on your roster, he's $18 million, and you didn't need him. Sills, 50 via schedule makes no – I don't get that either. I mean, I could have sworn, did Buffalo make the AFC title game? I mean, did they make the AFC championship game? I thought they made the AFC title game. Okay, so how does a team that made the AFC championship game, how do you have the fifth easiest schedule? Are you trying to push Josh Allen into the spotlight because he's the reigning MVP and they have a weaker schedule? That also has to go into consideration that the AFC teams are loaded with quarterbacks, but not good teams. And I think that's the case in the AFC this year. I think the rosters are in the NFC. Okay? I do. I think the rosters are they're more for the AFC. All right. Every single time we get Angelo on, it is always with great views and great numbers. And if you haven't checked out his blog, I'll tell you this, there was a guy back in the old days, man, used to have an executioner. And when this guy was at Sports Talk in Philadelphia, I mean, I got to tell you, man, I brought it up the other day. When people are at a press conference and you don't have a follow-up question, like when you were talking about Dallas Goedert and how that whole thing was handled. So, Howie, do you agree the only guy that got a pay cut when a company is showing profit and success, Milton Williams got a raise, Josh Sweat got a raise, Zach Bond got a raise, who else? But Barkley got a raise. Every player, Isaiah Rodgers got a raise. Who else? Orton Burks got a raise. And the only guy that got demoted on a paycheck was a guy who was a leading receiver in the postseason for the Eagles, and that was Dallas Goedert. You got to, hey, kudos to Howie. This is how you kick the hell out of a kid in his contract talks. This is how you beat the shit out of somebody. Hey, we don't think you're a $14 million guy. You want to come back? You come back how we want you. Yeah, but didn't I help you win? I don't care. That's pretty ballsy. Let's bring in Angelo. Get his thoughts. By the way, Cowboys September 4th. Oh, my God. This was made for Jeffrey Lurie. September 4th, Cowboys. How do you see that whole thing with Dallas Goedert and how he was dealt?
Yeah. By the way, you're totally ruining my buzz. I've been happy. I was at the meat store today, and the meat guy, the butcher, was telling me we were talking about the Eagles and Cowboys opening up here on Thursday night to start the NFL season. We're all happy here, and now you want to tick me off with this Dallas Goedert story because it's outrageous. And you left one guy out, all right? And I know I'm always looking for a way to rip him, but how about Mr. Culture, right? How about the head coach not going to bat for a guy who made him a champion last year? One of the key ingredients of the championship Where's Sirianni now to say, hey, no, don't screw over one guy in the whole organization. You're going to screw one guy over because you think he's over. First of all, I don't think he's overpaid anyway. I don't even buy that. This has been a bizarre offseason, and that's the latest example of it. I'm in the Goddard camp on this. He got screwed, and it sows the seeds of discontent.
Holy cow. Well written, Ernest Hemingway, Angelo Cataldi. I love this as we move on. And so wait a minute. Have the Eagles gotten better anywhere this offseason?
Not well. They certainly didn't get better defensively. They lost half their starters, so it can't be there. Offensively, Becton was a great run blocker. He's gone. Did they add anything there? No, not really, right?
No.
So I would say no. And they lost their punt returner. So I would say they didn't get better anywhere. They didn't.
How about this one, though, Angelo? So the first pick in the draft may not be ready for half the season. Nakobe Dean may not be ready for the start of the season in September. I mean, hey, wait a minute. Right. Now you're making me feel like I'm just picking stuff out of the air here to kind of like clobber these guys. But I'm trying to, I mean, February 9th was only 89 days ago. And I'm already talking like, okay, so the guy you drafted is not going to play for you maybe till half the season. And then your starting linebacker's not going to play. And you lost 4 other stars. Like you said, bizarre.
You gave me news. I didn't know Dean wasn't coming back at the start of the season, but I kind of suspected it yesterday when there was a stiff breeze, because that's usually all it takes to get him injured. All right. That guy is made out of tissue paper. All right. Don't get me started at the Kobe Dean. No, the thing is, Dan, all of it is, here's the irony of this whole story. It's kind of by design. They got to the end of the year. The most telling remark made in the whole Eagles offseason was when Howie Roseman said, I'm not going to do the same thing I did after we won in 2018. I'm not going to, out of sentiment, bring the team back. I'm going to make hard, cold decisions. And there went half the defense. And this is not a rest. Look, I'm not saying it can't work, because it can. The guy's been rolling 7s for a long time now. He's been phenomenally on a great run. But this is not a recipe to repeat. This is not a recipe to repeat your championship, especially with the schedule that's going to come out on Wednesday. People are going to look at that schedule, and they're going to get woozy there because they got killer schedule this year, 10 times harder than last year. So I'd be shocked if they are going to get close to repeating based on what I've seen this offseason.
Absolutely. And for the record there, Angelo, they're got the 4th hardest schedule in the National Football League before it's even determined on where they end up landing there. Speaking of stiff, Sirianni, this contract, I mean, I don't know when they're going to give it to him here, but
never, please.
Angelo, someone asked me, what is the number one job he does? And I'm like, what's his biggest thing? I'm looking for an impact on the team. And is it a problem that they have? How do they value him? Like, do you believe the Philadelphia Eagles would still be in the same position if Nick Sirianni wasn't the head coach?
Maybe better. I told you, I don't think he's any good. All right. I told you that before. Here's you want to have some fun with this? I'm going back to my days when I was on the air. I would have made this a poll question of the day. Who had more of an impact on the championship last year? Nick Sirianni or Dallas Goedert? Because, see, Dallas Goedert just got a pay cut. Now you want me to take $7 million a year Sirianni's making, and you want to double that for that jackass? No way. Damn. No. Goddard did more to win the championship last year than Sirianni did. So following the Goddard model, Sirianni, I wouldn't even give him, I wouldn't extend him. He's got another year. Let him play out the year. Let me see him do this again. Because he can't. I just told you, This guy is supposedly the guy that makes everything bond together in the locker room. He watches Goddard get screwed, doesn't do a damn thing about it. So what's he doing? What is he doing?
You know, you bring up an amazing point here about Nick Sirianni not defending anybody. You know, it's funny. He didn't defend Sean Desai or Brian Johnson or any of those guys. And here's a guy here in Dallas Goedert who he talks about all glowing. And then they turn around backhand and they tell the guy and they give him a pay cut. I mean, at the end of the day, when all the media people keep telling me that all the players love him and love playing for him, how can you love somebody that doesn't stand up for you or defend you when it comes to losing your job as a coordinator or when it comes to looking for defending your players? And for the record, I want to throw this at you here. You know, this guy reminds me a lot of George Seifert. Seifert won 2 Super Bowl championships when he was in San Francisco. And get this, Angelo, he was 100 wins and 30 losses and had numerous NFC title games with those Cowboy teams and 2 Super Bowl wins. He goes to Carolina, years removed from that. When he was in Carolina, he was 16-22, and everyone looked at him and went, oh, I get it. It was the team. This guy's a modern-day George Seifert.
That's why I come on here. That's brilliant. That's amazing. Because I honestly thought we were seeing something we'd never seen before. But you're right. Seifert came along, inherited a great roster, made the most of it. They plugged along for a while, won a couple of Super Bowls. And then you saw what he really was. I could be wrong. How wrong was I last year? No one could be a bigger idiot than I was last year.
Yeah, but I think that team, Angelo, would be where they were with or without him.
Well, it's a great comparable because you're right that Seifert got unmasked when he left. And if you know, I would think at this point Sirianni would take a pay cut before he would leave this situation, because you listen to him talk, he knows he's not that smart. Smart people, they act smart. He's not smart. All right? Anybody that acts like that big a boob on the sideline is not smart. The reason that Goddard didn't get defended, the reason that the coach prevented this from happening is that the coach was brought here to be a yes man. And the one word he knows in the presence of Howie Roseman and Jeff Lurie is yes. So if they go to him and go, we're going to cut Goddard down to $10 million or whatever we're going to give him, and he'll go, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree with you, sir. Yes. Can I have my extension now? Is that possible? We'll get to you. Relax. I will. Whatever you say. That's him. That's him, Dan. That's what you're dealing with. Buddy won a championship now. So we got to build a statue for him. No.
All right.
No.
I got to ask you to help me out on how to prepare for this. Cowboys are the opener. The week coming up of that September 4th game, and the buildup for this for Angelo would be how and what would the buildup be for this thing?
Well, I wrote about this on my blog today because people have to fully understand this is the greatest rivalry I have experienced in my lifetime. I grew up in New England, Yankees, Red Sox.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
This is bigger. And the reason it's bigger is there's more passion attached to it. And in this blog, I tell a story that's in my book about this guy named Chainsaw who came in. We had a 15-hour pregame show before an Eagles-Cowboys game in 1992. It was Monday Night Football. We started it at 6 in the morning, and we went till kickoff at 9 p.m. I did 7 of the hours myself. All right. Wow. And what happened was in the final hour, when everybody was drunk out of their minds, remember, this is Veteran Stadium. This is 700 level. And some jackass came in carrying a Troy Aikman doll. It was an inflatable doll with Troy Aikman's jersey on it. And he's waving it around. There's 1,000 people pressed against each other in the tent, screaming, Eagle cheers. people going nuts. All of a sudden you hear, "Rrr." He cranks a chainsaw, right? And this genius there, he's going to decapitate the inflatable doll by severing the head with a chainsaw. Now,
I don't know why I'm laughing.
this is not a great plan, because the moment that the chainsaw hits the inflatable doll, the doll's going to explode.
Yeah.
And the chainsaw is going to go flying.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a guy holding his cousin. Dominic Yanni was the guy. His cousin's holding the inflatable doll. And this guy chainsaw, I never got his actual name. I don't think he knew enough not to get it.
Yeah.
He goes right for the throat with the chainsaw. And the second it hits it, the doll explodes. The chainsaw goes flying, catches his cousin on the wrist. The only reason it doesn't sever the entire hand off the guy's arm is that it got caught. It got stuck in the doll, and right? But blood everywhere, right? Yeah, this is the passion of Philadelphia against the Cowboys. This guy's got blood all over it. It's falling all over people. And
where was this?
This was in a huge tent, our pregame show before the Eagles-Cowboys game.
In the lot?
What's that?
In the lot? In the lot there?
On the steps of the Spectrum.
Yeah.
Right there. All right. So now there's blood everywhere. This is before, you couldn't do this stuff.
Yeah.
No. Lawyers, right? And this guy, his cousin, rather than, people gave him towels, he's wrapping it with a tourniquet. He holds up a blood-stained towel and gets a massive ovation. And then he and the chainsaw guy, I don't know what happened to the chainsaw. God knows they may have tried to get into Veterans Stadium. And they leave to a hero's goodbye. Like the guy had done something amazing.
This is Cowboy Week.
Cowboy Week. It's always like that. The people try to top themselves. What would I do this week? I may try to replicate that feat. I may go, do I have, there's always somebody willing to try. Go, somebody out there with a chainsaw and I don't know, maybe an inflatable doll. Would you like to try this again? Of course, the lawyers now would stop me long before we ever got to it.
But Angelo, why is it? Why, when I grew up, I always thought it was Giants and Eagles.
Yeah, no. It's the Stetson hat, Tom Landry. Yeah, Buddy Ryan did a lot of things to make
arrogance. Is it the arrogance of Cowboy fans? Is that?
Yes, it was arrogance, and in the 90s, success. They were really good.
Yeah,
they were really good. All right, and that just kind of, and then Buddy played into it. Buddy Ryan played into it totally. He ran up the score one game. He refused to
body bag game.
Yeah, the scab game. It's got so much history. Here's another thing. I'm not lying. I've seen this. Many children in our Philadelphia, their first words were not mama or dada. They were Dallas sucks. Dads would, how some dads, they play like a concerto near the baby bump so that the baby, as the baby is developing, it has this great, they whisper, Dallas sucks, right into the woman's navel. Dallas sucks. Dallas sucks. And I'm telling you, Dan, it's a rite of passage here. It's pride. When your kid is saying Dallas sucks, you feel pride, even though technically it's kind of a slur. You shouldn't be saying it. Not in our town. They hate the Cowboys. And that's why this is the perfect way to start a season. Now, as my butcher pointed out to me today, oh my God, if the Eagles were to lose at home, the opener of the Cowboys, bad karma. Can't lose. It's a must win. The first game after you won a Super Bowl is a must win for the Eagles.
Do you think that this is a crazy take by me. I said by week 10, Kevin Patullo is going to have his play calling duties taken from him, and Nick Sirianni is going to be the play caller after. I know what you're thinking.
If they lose, all bets are off. You understand? First of all, the city will turn on them. The city that just had a parade with 2 million people will go nuts if they lose the opener to Jerry freaking Jones. What, are you kidding me? No, can't happen.
Wait a minute. So, Angel, you're telling me all the goodwill will go away?
All of it.
If the Cowboys beat them in the opener on September 4th, they'll act like they don't even remember February 9th.
You got to understand, the Eagles beat the Cowboys by a composite score of 75-13 last year. The Eagles going into that game, I'm guessing here, but will be a more than a touchdown favorite.
14 points for sure.
14. All right, 14. You're going to lose at home? This is the getting the rings, the whole schmear with where the champs. You flaunt it right in front of Jerry Jones's face up in the luxury box, or one of his 10 uplifted faces, the facelift stuff, whatever. I'm telling Dan, this ups the ante fantastically. This is a gift. If I was on the air, I'd be sending a thank you note to Roger Goodell saying, wow, thanks. I don't have to work to get this season going. That's beautiful.
Angelo, I know you have this on your blog too, and this is the last one here. I got to tell you, maybe I'm just the last of you guys because you guys inspired me in how to do a show. But I watched Daryl Morey make this so-called circus tour around all the radio stations, and I have never in my life seen a softer media people never have follow-up questions to go, well, wait a minute. Isn't it time to move off of Joel Embiid and start to prepare for the future? Surely whatever you think you do tonight, you get the kid from Duke. What does that do for me when you're talking about Paul George and Joel Embiid being injured? I mean, nobody follows up with questions like, bro, you told us they were a top 5 talented roster last year. You guys were the bottom of the league when it came to wins. I can't believe they're just letting that guy parade around town and not ask him any questions.
It's all of our sports now, all 4 of them. Rob Thompson was not held accountable for blowing the playoffs last year. No one held him accountable in our city. The media has gone super soft. And whenever I see it, and I try to avoid it now, Dan, I think of the people that I got to watch in awe of their journalistic instincts when I came to this city. Stan Hochman, Mark Wicker, John Shulian. These were Bill Livingston. Right? I mean, these guys were hardcore, tough questioning journalists. And now basically you got an extension of the PR department in all 4 of our teams. All four teams now, no one ever asks a hard question. And if they do, you can hear them almost trying to answer it, almost giving the answer that will be less damaging to the people. That's not the way it works. Now, again, I'm probably a dinosaur. Maybe that's the way it does work now in this new gentle media atmosphere we have. But it would never be that way for me. I learned real journalism. I went to a real journalism school. I was taught how to ask the hardest questions because those are the questions the fans want asked. They want to know what they're really thinking. They don't want anybody kissing Daryl Morey's ass. Daryl Morey is a disaster in Philadelphia, and he should be treated as one on those rare opportunities where they get a chance to do it. But they won't. They're all afraid of him.
But Angelo, let me ask you this. Do you think it's also because the organizations have found out that they can bully these journalists now, where before those guys were not in fear of losing their jobs because the companies had your back more and they were going to stand tall with you more So now the companies, isn't it more the companies have set the environment for the media peoples not to do their job? Because, if I have a problem with a guy that's sitting down there with like a Marcus Hayes, I'm not going to go to Marcus Hayes. I'm going to go to Marcus Hayes' boss at the Inquirer and go, hey, I don't want this guy in here. Now you're affecting that guy's livelihood. You're not going to do that the next time if you're a reporter, are you, Angelo? Because accessibility is how you're getting paid nowadays.
Well, I did it. I did it repeatedly. My job was threatened by the Eagles when I was at WIP early on. When we had a business partnership, we were the flagship station, and they sent a letter to the commissioner saying, "Stop this guy. He's too critical." That guy. No, but you experienced it yourself.
Absolutely.
When you were considered too critical, the Eagles front office called your boss.
Yes, he did.
This is and the only reason that you are still doing real journalism, this is journalism, what you're doing, is because your boss backed you and
That's
you
right.
refused to back down.
That's right.
A lot of people now would rather back down than risk losing their job. But that's why people like you, that's why I love coming on your show, because you represent to me the old guard, the way it was done when it was done right. And if these people are asking pussy-ass questions, which so many of them are, the fans should recoil and not accept it. You should, if you're hearing that, turn the station, rip up the newspaper if you're still getting that, delete it from your website, get rid of it, because frankly, that's not journalism. That's public relations. There's a guy named Dave Spadaro who's called the Eagles Insider. He's done that for 30 years. He's now tougher on the Eagles than some of the people covering them. And he works for them. I mean, come on. Guys, wake up and do your freaking job. And if you don't want to do it, let's get somebody in who does.
Absolutely. That's why you go to his blog. That's why you check his book out. That's why we go to him all the time, our friend. So, Angela, if you change your number now, 7 wins, 5 wins, 8 wins.
I got to see. Don't rush me. I have to see this.
Angelo, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it, brother.
Always great, Dan. It's always great, buddy. Take care.
My friend, Angelo Cataldi. Make sure you check out his blog and all. All right, folks, all good here. Tell you about my friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in America. Folks, make sure you check my friends out. And the reason why they will protect you and your family is because why? They win. If you're in need of an attorney to take care of you and your family's needs, if you've been injured, check out my friends at Morgan & Morgan at forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES. Eagles.
So refreshing to hear Angelo talking about honey. Oh my God. I'm glad that he and I have the same perspective on the head coach of Philly. I'm telling you, I know this is just an opinion. I think he'd be in the same position you were if he's there or if he's not there. I do. And I happen to agree. That guy doesn't stand up for anybody. How do you guys keep telling me the players and the coaches and everyone like the guy when he's never stood up for anybody? Sean Desai, Brian Johnson, Dallas Goedert. He's never stood up for those guys. You know, you tell a guy, oh, you're really great. Then you tell him to take a pay cut. It's not standing up for you. Right? Or at least doing this. Hey, I didn't want to see Brian Johnson go. He's a great coach. He's really got the short end of the stick, and it wasn't really cool. Same thing with Desai. No, man. The guy to keep his gig, he had to say yes. Okay, no problem. Okay, hire Kellen. Okay. Listen, that's the way you keep your gig today. I'm all right. I get it. I totally get it. And I understand it. Totally do. Let's see here. Well, have a winning record versus them then. Beat them. And Reyes. You want have a winning record versus Dak Prescott. Very simple. No, just beat them. Great stuff. By the way, I believe we are getting Boomer Esiason tomorrow. Boomer's going to try to carve out some time for us tomorrow. And, hey, Godspeed to my Uncle Jim. He passed away today. So I want to make sure my aunt and everybody, prayers to my Uncle Chuck, his brother. So it's in a better place. All good. Guys, I will see you tomorrow. Big Z, Joe, thank you. 2 to 6 tomorrow. We'll see you on the flip side.